your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite. Conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. I'm your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop. Joining me, Kerr, Viajante, Stogie Road Cigars. Oh, I got the chili burps, and this is
great. The second time around, doesn't it?
This is day 3 of eating. I don't know how to scale my chili recipe down because after day 1, it's only Kevin eating chili. I'm gonna do one more day tomorrow, and then I'm just gonna toss it.
That sounds like my house here. You know, when they make food, when Jen makes food, I'm always the one who eats the leftovers. And some days, like you said, she has things scaled. You know, for an army. So I'll usually be like day 3 or 4 of the chili.
Yeah. Are you a bean in your chili type of guy? What are you? Are you like the Texas no beans?
Jen makes it with beans, and actually she's got a really good recipe where it has corn.
Corn. I hate corn in my chili. I hate that Southwest Tex-Mex. I don't think I don't like the corn. I don't like the color. I don't like the color in my chili.
Why not? What do you got against it? Have you eaten it with corn in it?
I've had chili with corn in it, and I don't like it.
Why?
Because
it's the color, isn't it? It doesn't.
No, it's because all the chili I've ever had with corn in it has always been a really thick chili. Like, see, like Ohio chili is they call it chili soup. So it's a little bit more runnier. You have, a lot more liquids you can put on your noodles, and the noodles soak up the liquid.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Repeat what you just said.
What?
Did you just say it's runny and you put the chili over the noodles?
Yeah, you put chili over pasta.
Yeah, you see, that's where that's horribly wrong. Then you're not talking about chili anymore.
Yeah, it's still chili.
No, not on pasta. Actually, growing up, believe it or not, my mom would make mashed potatoes, and we would put chili over mashed potatoes or in a bowl. We would make a bowl out of mashed potatoes and put it.
Well, that's like stroganoff. That's not chili.
Over mashed potatoes, Kev.
Yeah, stroganoff now.
No,
just like you said.
Ryan, noodles. If anything, your concoction, your Ohio concoction, is more stroganoffy than is mine. Mine would be more, I don't know, like a reverse spicy bean infested shepherd's pie.
Yeah, Ryan, are you beans or no beans in your chili? We can't hear you.
Ryan's. There you go. Hit.
That's what happens when you're late and you don't test your sound.
I know. Jesus, look at that.
All right. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, so I actually had a client meeting that literally was supposed to be over like 20 minutes ago.
No, it's no worries.
So I apologize, everybody. But I care much more about flavor.
Your microphone's off.
Get out of here, Kerr. You did that to me last time.
Go ahead. Really?
I care much more about flavor than I do necessarily bean or no bean makeup.
Fucking what the question, Ryan, is bean or no bean?
That's why I said I care more about the flavor. I will go with bean or bean.
Bean or no bean,
dude.
Bean or no bean.
Okay,
go to your head. Bean or no
I put
bean.
beans in mine.
Thank you.
Okay, now do you serve it anything? Because people said
in a bowl. I serve it in a bowl.
Pasta or rice. I like both. I prefer
pasta.
Rice.
No pasta. Come on, that's
it. Well, Cincinnati chili's over Cincinnati chili's over spaghetti. I like mine over large macaroni noodles.
I like spaghetti mac. I mean, I like chili mac. I will put it over pasta, but typically I just like some oyster crackers in it.
That's chili mac. That's completely different from putting chili over top of noodles.
Yeah,
that's that is
mac and cheese. Mac is noodle. Macaroni is a noodle. It's chili mac.
Yeah,
that's the same thing as putting it over noodles.
No, it's not.
Just the shape is different.
It's not. Chili mac comes in a box.
Yeah.
No.
Real chili is homemade. It goes in a pot and then it goes into a bowl. Spaghetti is boiled and then you put sauce over top of it. Chili mac is the hamburger helper hand or something like that. It's in a box. And I'm sticking to that because I think that I think putting chili over noodles is like someone in Ohio was stoned and didn't have a lot of money. Opened up their cabinet and said, I got a can of chili and a box of fucking noodles. That's all I have. And they're like, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to boil some noodles. I'm going to put some chili over top of it. And I'm going to get multiple meals and it's going to be filling. And that's where it came from.
I can probably attest to the being stoned and pouring chili over noodles as far as how good that could be at that time in one's life.
Anything.
But what I will,
cheese and onions. Yes. On occasion, maybe a dollop of sour cream.
Oh yeah.
See, you know what?
Blocks, I have to.
You know what? For me though, chili mac is just macaroni with chili over the top. Now, I get you being specific for the box, but when I'm referring to chili, that's hog shit. When I'm referring to chili mac is chili over macaroni noodles. So like you're pouring over noodles.
Yeah. It's perverted. It's not. It's not healthy. It's just it is. It's perverted. What? That's terrible, man. That's like you know what? And I'm sorry. I also believe that if you like chili without beans, that chili is reserved for on top of hot dogs or hamburgers. It's a condiment. Without beans, it's a condiment.
I kind of agree with you on that. That's why but like I said, Texas is generally no beans, but a lot of times you get like a good Texas brisket chili, which is good on its own, but
better on a hot dog.
But if it's made with like hamburger or ground beef, and then like it's more of you're eating a big old
it's a big bowl of condiments. You know what?
Castleberries.
Exactly. It's like, hey, you know what? I'd really like to have a bowl of onions, or I'd like to have a bowl of relish, or a bowl of freaking sauerkraut. It's a condiment without beans. That's all it is. Anyways, before we get started on everything, I am really interested in what everybody's smoking tonight. Then we can get back into the chili bean. And the reason why I hammered you on the question, Ryan, is I've been going through this phase of asking someone a question and that question not being answered. I almost feel like
you're married still, right?
Yeah, but
yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of like in a congressional hearing where it's like, hey, yes or no, do you support XYZ? Well, it's like, no, I don't care if you do you like beans? You're chili without beans. So I had a.
It was the same. I was super busy like 2 weeks ago. I didn't have time. In passing, I saw Jessica and I'm like, oh, your hair looks really good today. And she's like, oh, thank you. Well, what I did was, and I instead of blow drying, I go, whoa. I don't care. Your hair looks good today. I don't need to know how the sausage is made tonight. I don't have time for this one tonight. So
So Kevin, what are you smoking tonight? So you
I am burning my way. This is the JC Newman Bricktoberfest 2025. I am burning. I have smoked this box faster than I only got like 3 left than any previous Bricktoberfest. Hands down, my favorite. I like this size. It's a good size. This is a like a long Churchill. I'm not exactly sure what size.
I think Jennifer got that when we were at Bodas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got the Stein, right? Because you got the. I thought you got because you held it. You held it in your. You just held it.
I held it in my hands, and I said, "For 10 cigars, this thing is like a mini Stein." It was tiny.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's the size of my head.
No, did you see the picture of my hand? I do have freaking meatballs. I get that.
See, Ryan, his problem is we sent him like this Stein that was 3.5 feet tall that could hold a gallon of beer, and now like he's comparing all Steins to this giant Stein.
Exactly what I do. I have to have a freaking measuring stick. Kevin.
We got to get you a Das Boot.
I have a Das Boot.
Yeah, you got a Das.
Yeah, every time I drank beer out of it, the air would flow back through the freaking bottom of the foot and shoot it in my face.
Yeah,
you got to turn it.
I know. Thanks, Ryan. Remember you a couple of years ago when I needed that fucking advice, buddy.
I just watched. I watched. Beer was it?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. Yeah, that was a lot longer than a couple years ago.
I just found out they're making Super Troopers 3.
Yeah, the whole world wanted Weed Fest.
Yeah,
and we never got it.
No,
the Beer Fest was there. And yet they teased they teased it, but never came through it. I really like Broken Lizards Club. I think they do good stuff. Club Dread. I mean, I think they all do really good stuff.
Oh yeah. All right, Ryan, you're our guest. What are you smoking? What are you smoking?
I have the McAuliffe Red.
Ooh, yummy.
Smoking edition. Nice. Which is the box press version of this. I think this is the best. I think the box presses that they're coming out with the color series for smoking exclusives are absolutely the best versions of these cigars.
I 100% agree. 100%.
And I love all the sizes.
Yeah, but box press though, that's I don't know, man. I got something about a box press.
Oh, John, that's a great one. I only got one of those new ones.
And you know the thing of it is too, I think they're still like $9 a cigar.
Yeah.
They're sub $10 cigars at Toro size box press. Like
perfect, man.
And they're fantastic. So I'm looking forward to what is it? The white coming out, and then the green should be out, I think Dan said, before Christmas, hopefully.
Green's out.
Smoking. No, for the smoking
box
exclusive.
Okay,
yeah.
The green's really good. That's good.
Yeah, it is.
So
so I just want to that box I've already had that box press green. Ryan, it's really good.
Bro, I'm sure it's just as good as the rest of them. I mean, like I said, the box press versions of the color series, I think, are the best size.
That's it. Kerr, what do you got?
I'm going to be taking you guys on a journey with me tonight because I'm actually going to be doing a cigar review.
Oh, right on.
We actually have a new shop opened up right down the road from us. So about a mile down the road, the wine and bourbon barn opened up. I don't know if you have these chains around you guys, but
no. I'm sorry. Did you say barn or bar?
Barn.
Okay, wine and bourbon barn. Okay.
Yeah. So big facility, split in half. This side is all the spirits. This side is wine and beer. They have a bar where you can get wine and beer. They have a seating area.
Inside?
Inside,
how cool is that?
A seating area. And they got a fantastic humidor. I mean, it's bigger than a lot of like cigar shop humidors, and they got some incredible facings. So we've been waiting for it to open. It just opened. I met Caitlin, and there's another Caitlin who works the different Caitlin who
I was just gonna ask. I'm like, she's back.
When I met her, I was like, I said, I go, okay, your name? She goes, Caitlin. I said, no shit. But you know, we were sitting there talking about the facings, and I mean, they got Padron, and she said she was on a waiting list for Padron until they saw this new shop that they were going to open up, and they bumped them up. But they got Rocky Patel, you know, AJ. They got a great selection, you know, some usual suspects. But we were also talking about some boutiques to bring in. So I gave her my card. I talked a little bit about, you know, everything from El Mago, Sinistro, Big Sky, blah 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 blah. And then we're going to connect, and I'm going to give her some connections and some information because she is interested in bringing in some boutiques. Because I said, look, when I use Kardec Shaw as an example, right? Kardec's cigar shop, you know, that's connected to a liquor store establishment, but he's a destination location. Like, you know, you can get shit there you can't get anywhere else. So if you're going to be a wine and bourbon barn, and there is another cigar shop that is a quarter of a mile down the road, put some stuff in here that's not only going to you get stuff in here where folks, when they're stopping by, they're going to buy, but put some stuff in here that's going to make people drive away from the other cigar shop and pull into yours, because the other place, they're remodeling right now. So this place has a traction to build. They can build some and be that new spot, especially because there's no other place to get good premium cigar. I mean, you got a couple of smoke shops around here, but where we are, they're remodeling. They've been remodeling, so there's a big gap to be filled. And you know, so I think they have an opportunity here. So the one cigar she asked me about that was on the in the humidor was Kiki Momo.
Okay.
He goes, "What can you tell me about Kiki Momo?" And I thought, outside of what I've heard and what I've seen at PCA, which Kevin and I kind of chuckled at, I said I can't give you an honest assessment because I've never smoked one of their cigars.
Yeah,
I've heard things about them, but it wouldn't be fair to me or fair to you if I were to pass along information that I cannot, confirm or deny. I said, but I'm going to grab a cigar and I'm going to smoke it tonight. I said, we're doing our show. I said, and then I'll let you know what I think about it. So
did you pick one up there, or did she already have them, or did you have one already?
No, please try to pay attention, Kevin.
Yeah, I've never even heard of them before.
They're in the humidor, and I bought one.
Oh, okay. I missed it because when you said she was asking you about them, I thought it was she was asking you to bring them in.
I said she was asking me about cigars. I said, and then when I looked at the humidor, I saw they had them in there. And this is the Kiki Momo Toro Maduro. So I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, is Caitlin a cigar smoker?
We actually didn't even get into it because there was a representative there. It looked like someone who was either a wine or liquor rep who was waiting to talk to her. I was stopping by on my way back from the doctor's appointment. I got my follow-up exam with my knee. Everything's fine. Everything's happy now. The cortisone shot, successful. No more. I don't have any pain. There's no need to do they were going to assess the situation.
Oh, there we go.
Looks like he needs to assess his network.
Yeah. Assess that. Yeah. Oh.
So, well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm not surprised there's so many cigar companies out there. I've never even heard of Kiki Momo.
Yeah,
regional, right?
They're the Kiki Momo. I don't even know if that's his real name. Probably not. He's from he's in the South Carolina area. He had like a big booth at PCA. It was a little it was a little obnoxious, the booth. It was just the way it was set up and kind of like the things going around it. It didn't appeal to me. A lot of people liked it. They liked what was going on. The circus type event. To me, I don't know. It's just
clowns.
No, it was there was like a big like throne, and somebody like a king was sitting in a chair, and I don't know. It was a little much. It was a little much, in my opinion. I've had the cigars. I've had a couple of them. Good cigars. It's been a hot minute, so I can't tell you if they're great cigars. I remember not having any issues with the cigars. I think I've still got like a box of them or half a box or whatever.
Well, you've smoked so much, you not remembering much about the cigar usually probably means it was middle of the road to maybe above better. You have a tendency to remember when it's a bad experience. So that's what I'm trying to say is
I do. Which every bad experience I've had with your boy there, one of your advertisers there, Christoph. Like I don't smoke Christoph. Christoph doesn't make good cigars, in my opinion. No, sorry. Really like nope. I want to back that up. Cigars, Christoph does not make cigars that are for my palate. I said that wrong, and I apologize that they don't make good cigars. I don't prefer the type of cigars that they make. With that being said, there are cigars that Pete Johnson makes, my boy, that don't hit my flavor profile, and I won't smoke them again either. So I don't want to throw that out in the world. That they make bad cigar.
Everybody out there has their own palate. Christoph is one of the ones that I really do enjoy. But I've heard that, like you said, I mean, I've heard that literally about every brand out there.
I'm a Christoph fan.
And that's why cigars are so much fun, right? Because I don't have to like what anybody else does, and neither does anybody else what I have to. But I am a firm believer that there is a cigar out there for everybody, and everybody for a cigar. So
that's it. So, some people do not like Blackworks because, like Christoph, the cigars I've had, there's a flavor profile that he blends to. And
for sure.
Same with James at Blackworks. If you have 6 or 7 different cigars, they all have his touch on them. They all have that profile. Some people do not like that profile. I happen to love that. So yeah,
they all that DNA. That's sorry guys. Yeah, my computer just freaking cut out and cut back on again.
That's a good term. It's got the DNA on it. It's
not his DNA.
You know what Black I think I'm good enough, and I've smoked enough of James Brown's stuff, and most. I mean, Saka I think also has a DNA in his stuff, but for sure James Brown. Or if you were to unbanned a cigar, 2 cigars, one's James Brown, one's not. I might not be able to tell you the exact cigar, but I guarantee you I'd be able to tell you which one was his.
Yeah, if you told me, hey, one of these is Black Label,
it's like, I'd be able to tell.
I'm gonna pick that out. Yeah,
but I think that it does. The lines do get blurred if you were to take off a band from one of his cigars and another cigar, because there is so much similarities in the blend that it'd be tough to be able to like. This is salvation. It's like,
yeah. I don't disagree on that. That's why I said different brands. One of them Black Label, one of them not. I think I'd be able to tell which one was Black Label, but I don't. I in no way, shape, or form be like, that's the Aletto. That's the new Aletto, or that's a coffin nail. I only said that because it was in this last month's cigar of the month.
Gives it a size. So we're gonna hear. I want Kerr to tell us a little bit about that cigar that he's smoking, but after, let's hear a moment from our partners over at Fogbox.
Let's be real. Most travel cigar cases look the same: black, boring, forgettable. But Fogbox, they're doing it different. Every Fogbox travel case and lighter features custom hydro dip graphics. From bold patterns to badass designs that pop. These aren't just tools, they're statements. Whether you're at a lounge, a campsite, or on the beach, Fogbox gear stands out while keeping your cigars protected and fresh. Plus, the quality is rock solid. Airtight, rugged, and built to handle wherever you take it. If you're still carrying around the same black, plain cigar case everyone else has, it's time for an upgrade. Visit fogbox.com and grab something as unique as your cigar taste. That's fogbox.com. Built to travel, designed to stand out.
Is there something in front of your face in that video, Kevin?
What do you mean?
It looked like
a teleprompter? Yeah.
It looked like there was something like a square, like a shaded square in front of your face.
No. Let me see.
Let's be real. Most travel cigar cases.
Oh, I think are you seeing the reflection in his glasses?
No. I
Oh,
was around
okay.
his lip area. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I digress. But yeah, my
All right.
computer just shit the bed, just like boom, and then just rebooted.
Yeah, weird. So tell us about that cigar from Kikimo. Do you have any info on it?
I do not. I was getting ready to look it up, and my computer.
Okay.
Maybe that was it. I did hop on X while you were while I was doing that on my phone while I was waiting for this to kind of churn back up, and I heard you talking about the PCA event and the throne and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we talking like island style throne or like Mayan style throne?
I don't know, like a
or
like a
like Game of Thrones.
royal.
Green. It was gold.
Oh,
Yeah,
so like European throne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
there was you had a feel for like this Serengeti. You know, it was like I don't know.
Serengeti.
Well, it was right. Yeah. It was like it was almost like safari. Like I don't know. It was weird. It was just a little odd.
It was a little much. While Kerr's looking that up, you know, we talked about DNA on cigars. I noticed your sign right behind you, Ryan. Cigar Clowns. You know why I look forward to their cigars so much? Because they're all different. There's no DNA on a cigar clown. Like every cigar is different.
Now, the reason why I think a lot of that is why you get DNAs is because you get DNAs on people, I think, more that are vertically integrated, that are much more understanding of their own profile.
Yes.
And that work more often with specific rolling facilities.
Or they get tobacco from their own farms. I mean, there's going to be a lot of, and there's tobacco to work with. When you're doing short batches like that, or small batches or short runs, you know, you're not going to find it's tough to find that DNA.
Like the only reason why I think DNA happens in the short batches or small runs of Dunbarton is because Steve pulls the tobacco to have the DNA. Like he doesn't just, oh, this is great and throws it together. I love it. No, he waits for it to be very similar to his kind of profile, if that makes sense, and then makes a shorter or a smaller or a limited run kind of similar to that world. Like you take the Micaritas, they all have an underlining, I feel, similar profile throughout them, from the black to the red. And then same thing with the Umagog and even Stillwell. Like I feel like they do have a similar profile to it. Steve doesn't own his own farms, but Steve also knows exactly what he wants and goes for it. I think Cigar Clowns, they would maybe have more of a DNA as they're in shops more. They just went into shops last year for the first time. Yeah. So, but I don't disagree with you. That is what makes Cigar Clowns. That's what made their shit sell out so fast. It was all different. It was all good. It was all limited run, and they're killing it apparently in the shelving space. So that's awesome for them too.
Yeah, it's great.
So what I found about the Toro Maduro Kikimomo KMC075 is that it starts off with all Padron lovers look no further. I
hate that.
Well, listen.
Be yourself. Don't remake it.
But it says, you know, they talk a lot about the flavor profile, caramel, coffee, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to find the blend in here, and I'm not finding anything. So I'll keep looking.
Is it Nicaraguan at least?
I'm very sure.
Because if it's not, they really can't say Padron lovers.
Yeah. Well, what's everybody drinking tonight with your with your cigars?
I have Hidden Barn's my new whiskey for the show, and they were kind enough to give me a first ever release one of their bottles. So this bottle itself has, I think, 4 years on it, and then it was bottled 4 years ago. So not that it ages in the bottle, but So this is good. It's a 57 ABV, 114 proof, and it is was hand selected for a whiskey society out here in Colorado.
Oh, right on.
I'm drinking water.
I
Sorry,
got my,
sorry, it's not as detailed, but
I got my Bacardi Diet. That was the Bacardi was aged in giant stainless steel tanks for
double filtered.
I don't in my Diet Coke filtered through. Yeah.
So
My liver.
It's showing that Kiki Momo is made in Nicaragua.
Okay.
Italy. I got to tell you, it's got a good burn, got a nice white ash. It's putting off a lot of smoke like a Nica Rustica.
Yeah.
It almost has that Nica Rustica smell. And the only way I can describe it is, and I've had Maduros like this. It has that like a chemically like a kerosene. The only smell I can really kind of associate it to is kerosene.
Oh,
my thought is it an off-putting smell? Because sometimes I'll say barnyard manure and people are like, that sounds disgusting, and I'm like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, so sometimes you can only.
I am.
Okay, saying that in a bad way. Okay.
Yes, because I don't.
Okay.
I've had other Maduros like this, and as you start smoking it, it kind of has a very dry, not so good, flavor in your mouth. And again, I know for other people, when I say kerosene, I get the look that I got from Brian, like, what the hell you mean kerosene flavor?
No, I know that. I
flavor
know what you're
deal.
talking about. That wasn't a look I would have given Charlie Menudo. But I'm saying I get
Menudo.
that. Or did I say that right?
Menudo is the boy band.
Menudo.
Okay, Charlie Menudo. It wasn't like whale blubber or something like that. But no, I know that flavor that you're talking about, or that hint. And for me, that's what brings to my face is I don't like that.
It actually, it's I tried looking up what it is. I mean, I've heard from folks that it's, the way that they ferment the wrapper, that there's additional things rubbed into the tobacco, and it can cause that off-putting smoke. It does it for, they do it for color, they do it for strength. Constructed wise, it's constructed well, and the ash is fine on it. The draw is fine on it. It's just, as soon as I start smoking, I was like, I've had a couple of Maduros like this, several, and it's not for me.
So let me ask you this, since you made it feel like it, from what you've heard, it might have something rubbed. Now, I've never heard that, and I'm not questioning that at all. You know more about this stuff than I would. Do you feel that is no longer a premium long filler cigar? Because isn't that if something is rubbed on the outside for flavor or strength?
No, I mean, listen,
isn't it kind of go against the principle of there's nothing additional other than tobacco on here?
Well, I think that's the legal principle that we're trying that is trying to be presented, to avoid the taxation of the government and the regulations of the government. I think, you can have a premium long filler cigar. It's a cigar made with premium tobacco that's long filler, and you can enhance that tobacco. Use those people who infuse it.
But now isn't that a flavored?
Well, it's flavored, but it doesn't make it less of a premium long filler cigar.
Yeah, and I've heard that more on. It's usually Maduros more than anything else. There are companies that steam their wrapper leaves to get a consistent color.
It's pretty strong.
There's nothing added. It's just steaming the leaves. In a machine or something. But I've had a couple manufacturers. I won't call them out, but had told me he knows of other manufacturers that boil their Maduro wrapper leaves in Coke or Pepsi, to give a more consistent color. And then after it's all done and fermented, you can't taste Coke or Pepsi. It goes away, but I can't help but believe it has to leave something behind. But
I've heard of companies, again, without naming names, that paint the outside of their cigars to give them all a consistent look. Not paint,
I've heard them painting with oil. To give a consistent look.
I mean, they're not going to Michael's and grabbing, oil
some companies that add mineral oil, which
I've heard that too. I've heard that.
Tasteless, odorless, non-toxic, and it adds a smoke. It makes for a heavy smoke output.
Yep,
of the cigar. Adding a little mineral oil to the filler.
Yeah. What's the benefit? What's the benefit?
Smoke output.
Smoke, but like,
I also heard that when they put in mineral oil too, it could darken the tobacco. I've heard that, and I've also been told that by someone, and I will not mention their name because they're full of shit half the time. That the mineral oil, the tobacco, the smokiness, or that's how it smokes, and it has that kerosene flavor to it. That is kind of indicative of the use of mineral oil. Again, I can't say that that's accurate or not, but to Kevin's point, I mean, I know I've heard of some factories that release, like you were talking about steaming tobacco, is they'll take cigars, they'll put it in, how they put them in the aging room and stuff. They'll put it in there, and it releases a fine mist that has some sweetener, some molasses in it, soaks into the cigar, and that's where you get some molasses flavor. You get the sweetness to it. So everybody has their own little trick to try and differentiate their cigars, enhance the flavor, do a little bit more with the tobacco that they got. But that's a pretty strong cigar too. So I suspect, there may even be some under fermented tobacco in there, because it is giving me that. And I'm pretty good when it comes to smoking strong cigars, because my second cigar tonight was going to be the Camacho, the Triple Maduro. But when I start getting headaches from smoking a cigar, or I get a little buzz, it's usually something in there that's not the age it should be.
So real quick, that's a cigar I'm curious about your opinion on, Kerr.
Which one was that?
The Triple Maduro.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, everyone knows that, Abe was one of the, correct me if I'm wrong in the story, Kevin. Abe was one of the conceptual idea makers behind.
One of them, he was. And Christian Aroa said, "You're dumb." But Abe's like, "I got money. I want you to make that cigar." And he's like, "All right, I'll make it." And then it was a hit. Then when CLE or when Camacho sold to Davidoff, instead of, because Abe always got a royalty on that, they did have to buy Abe out because they didn't want to continue paying the royalty. They just wanted to own that cigar outright. And this isn't like a proprietary. Abe has said this.
No, before. Yeah, he's talked about it on the show.
So he sold off the rights too. But yeah, Abe was he was the one. He went to the Aroas and, hey, I'd like to have this cigar made.
Abe had Triple Maduro money.
Right. Yeah. I also have heard though that it's nowhere near what the original release was.
So I smoked one recently, maybe a couple months ago. It wasn't very strong at all.
What version? I assume the new version.
It was a newer version. So with that being said, I remember smoking it years ago and it knocking my socks off, but
your palate's different now, okay?
My palate's different now, so I take that, though. There's a lot of cigars. Like I smoked the Dunbarton Tricky Traca for breakfast on an empty stomach and not have a problem with it. A couple of years ago, that made me throw up in the morning. So I don't know, but I've heard the same thing as you said, Ryan, that other people say it's nowhere near as strong as it used to be. That was the cigar that everybody was afraid of because it was really strong. So I don't know if it just got that that urban legend about it. Oh, don't smoke that. You better have a full stomach, this and that. And then, people hear that and they're like, ooh. So
that's a good Maduro. That's got good flavor, good pre-draw, good pepper.
Wow, he didn't even make it through.
No, I didn't. I couldn't.
I was about to say, I'm like, wait, what happened? Did I black out? Did I black out and it's at the end of the show now?
No, I lit up the Camacho Triple Maduro, and because I just, again, that's not my wheelhouse. When I start getting a headache, my spidey sense starts tingling that there's something in there that's just not properly fermented. It's just not. To your point, Kevin. I mean, I could smoke a whatever strong cigar you want to mention. I could smoke that in the morning, with a cup of water on an empty stomach and be perfectly fine. It's when I start getting, now I know my body's telling me when there's something in there that's just not right. And
Yeah.
and I, right from the get go, from the first light to the to the smoke. Again, I smoked other Maduros that have the same characteristics, and people love them. That's just not for me. For this triple Maduro, I'm a big fan, and Kevin and I had this conversation.
Yeah.
After PCA, when we went to PCA, when we went to the to the Camacho event, it had that much of an impression on me. The people, the atmosphere, the cigars, the friendliness, just everything about that party, the setting. When I came back, I said, you know what? I need to reintroduce myself to the Camacho brand, because I think over time, when you're smoking your own cigars, you're smoking a lot of boutiques, you kind of go by Camacho and you're like, nah, Camacho, look at it. It's not the old Camacho. Look at the colors. Oh, it's not the old Camacho.
Yeah.
And then you kind of stop and go, you know what? It's a good fucking brand. It's great cigars. So I've been smoking more of them and reintroduced myself to the brand. And I did smoke the blue, Kev, the one that you said.
Yeah.
Loved it. Fantastic cigar.
Yeah. I was the same way after PCA. I came home and it's not like I had to go out and buy some. I probably have 80 Camacho. I have a lot of Camacho cigars. I just got out of smoking them for no reason, no particular reason, just moved on to something, and it was just always in there. But like I said, after that event, with Jack and everybody else and Tom and such, and then I had that broadleaf that blew my socks off, that broadleaf. And I was addicted to them. And
I know. I was like, here, would you like to have another one? Like, I'd like to have about 2 boxes, because this is gonna be a long ride home.
That's it. What about you? What about you, Ryan? What's your Camacho? Are you a Camacho smoker? Or?
Yeah, I like the triple Maduro, and that's why I was asking, because I don't know what the original triple Maduro was like. I don't have a memory if it was any better or not. It's my favorite Camacho is the triple Maduro. I like the beefiness of it. Not only that, but it's a stout feeling cigar. Like it's like a billy club, even at the Robusto size. Like, I mean, it's got some weight to it. I love it. But let me answer me this: would you guys consider Camacho legacy?
Yes, even the new Camacho, which is what we all know with the big colorful bands. Yes, that's legacy, because that's still what, 15 years, 20 years on the new Camacho. Yeah, it's easily that's easily a 20-year-old cigar. Yeah. So it doesn't get much more legacy than that.
So I will say, in the guides of legacy cigars, Camacho is probably one of my favorite brands. I like them. I like them over the Monte Cristo, the Romeo. Now, a lot of those, because they're usually more on the milder side for my palate. Camacho has a tendency to hit a little stronger. Davidoff's usually more on the mild side for me as well. But I do prefer Camacho. If we're going to call Camacho legacy, which is what I would have termed it myself, I would say that they're probably in my favorite of the legacy brands.
They're up there. They got a good selection. Like Kevin said, when we smoking the broadleaf was fantastic. My first box of cigars that I ever bought down here in South Carolina, I went to a Camacho event. And I still had the knife too. I went to a Camacho event.
I got the
knife and bought a box of the Camacho Corojo. And that was the first. I still have the box. It was at the Duncan. Was still at Cigar Tobacco Plus, and never realized or understood yet. Like I said, it was like, why am I not gravitating towards this brand anymore. And I thought, well, after PCA, I was like, well, I think I need to go back because the broadleaf, just like you said, was just that cigar was freaking. I couldn't get enough of it. Fantastic.
Yeah, the first premium box of cigars I ever bought was the Camacho Criollo, and I like what Camacho did with the color theme, because when I used to go into my local lounge all the time, and I was still really new to cigars, I was able to go in there and I could pick out the yellow. I liked the yellow, so I felt like I didn't want to look dumb by asking questions. So when I saw that bright yellow wrapper, because when I walked in there for the first time, they had all the Camachos and all the different colors, and I'm like, oh, I recognize the yellow. Like I couldn't pronounce the Criollo. I didn't know how to say it. That's it. It's got all that Ligero in it that I like. So that's what I liked, and then I tried them all, and didn't really like the red, but I liked the blue. And then they went to the different browns for the barrel aging, and so I really liked that.
The opposite. You told me you liked the red but didn't like the blue.
Or was it the I can't remember now.
The red's the Corojo, the blue is the Ecuadorian.
Oh, I did like that blue. Yes, because you smoked one, and then I went and I got the box press Tubo that I had in the blue. And I like that. I know I didn't there was one, what was the there was one I didn't care. It was too light. Like it was super light, and I never really.
They have a Connecticut. Their Connecticut is like, again, it's like, hey, if you like Connecticut, and plus price, you can get yourself up. Any of these Camachos are $9.99, $8.99, depends on where you're going. It's like you said, kind of like the McAuliffe, the under $10 McAuliffe. I mean, good cigar, consistent, tasty, bold flavors, under $10. Why not? The other thing about the Camachos that that I like is I did like the anniversary the yearly cigars they come out with.
The Liberty series. I always looked forward to the Liberties. Always.
And I found a whole bunch of old ones, and I had I think from 2005 to 5 or 6 years. I smoked all through them because they were so fucking good.
My buddy Shabazz, you've been to his shop. He's got a stack of Liberties 6 or 8 feet tall. I don't know what, various years, whole stack of Liberties.
I know. I walked into a shop in Colombia, and they had 4 years of Liberties in a row, and they were 5 years old. It was 04, 05, 06 or 07, something like that. And I was like, what are these? He's like, we've had them for a long time. I'm just having on the sale rack. I was like,
yeah,
right.
Come with me.
Can you taste the difference between the box press and the regular ones? I can. And the same goes with the box press versus which I tell everybody, I always give the same example, FSG, the Florida Sun-Grown. Depending on what I'm in the mood for, will be whether I want the regular round Parejo, whether I want the trunk press, which is a soft box press, which is a little bit more stout in my opinion, or if I want a little bit more sweeter version of that same cigar in a Bellicoso. So yes, you can always, in my opinion, you can always taste the difference between the different Vitolas.
I hope that the Camacho comes out again, because I'll tell you what, their Candela was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Not as good as a Apostate. I'm sorry. That is the best Candela I've ever had.
Comparing Apostate Candela is ridiculously delicious, but the Camacho, the
Camacho Candela was good.
I was considering at the time, I was surprised how good it was. I was shocked on how really tasty and flavorful that Camacho Candela. I think I had low expectations, with probably, as we talked before, if you have low expectations of a cigar and it does well, you'll usually end up scoring it higher. But I was really kind of blown away by it. Yeah,
it was really, really good. I do remember that. I got a few left. I need to dig one out, because they're old now. I mean, they're 5 years, 6 years old. I don't even know if they're green anymore. They are in a super.
If they're not in the light,
they're in a super dark spot. They're in a tray, like the middle tray of like 3. So it gets no light. That tray.
Air and light.
So.
If it's in the light, I told you saw when we were at Kevin and I was Ryan. I always preach about lighting in a humidor, and I always said if you have a candela, it's the canary of the humidor. You know, the old miners would take the canaries down in the mines when they were dead, bad fumes. Well, if you have candelas in your humidor in your shop and they're brown or if they're yellow, that means you got something
or clear. Yeah.
Or clear. You got to do something with your lighting. And Kevin and I were talking about this. It's the first time I've seen this happen. I'll use the name too of the brand because it's been around. So the cigar shop had a Maduro, Cafe 1901 Maduro, the old Cafe, Honduras Cafe 1901 Maduro, super dark, and a Sumatra, and it was at the very top shelf, and the lights were maybe about a foot and a half away.
Oh.
And I reached up and I grabbed the Maduro and I showed Kevin and put it next to a Maduro that was underneath. It was the color of a Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And these are like 1985 fluorescent lights.
Oh yeah.
Just stripped the Maduro right off of it. I mean, it looked like a Connecticut. That's how much it just robbed the color from the light did from a Maduro. Again, that takes a lot. And it's an older cigar. It's been there for a while, so if you dig underneath, you'll get some darker ones. But knowing how quickly these candela can turn, especially if it's in poor lighting, to see a dark Maduro and a dark Sumatra, the color of a Connecticut was like, whoo. Do not shop at the top shelf.
So then we went to that other lounge and I got the cigar that you could almost wring out the water out of it. It was so moist.
Yeah.
So for me, I've experienced that with shops where you go down to the second layer, you're like, oh, there's the color of the box. Like I typically don't buy I typically don't buy cigars from that lounge or from that humidor, because to me it's kind of like this is a showing of how you care about your product in store, and you don't even have the right lighting, and in fact the lighting that you have is damaging all your product on your shelf. In my opinion, I don't think flavor wise it necessarily changes it a ton, but visually, like, it's not what it's like having a scratched record and putting it back on the shelf to try to sell it as a new one.
Yeah.
Like it's no longer factory condition.
all muddy.
Yeah,
listen,
like
the show car, it still runs great. It's still the fucking same great car, but it's muddy.
Yeah.
Or it's scratched up or whatever. But and you bring up a good point, because I stopped saying anything, because I know I've tried to have approach it nicely to humidors. I'm like, hey, I said, you're lighting in there. You really need to either do indirect lighting, or you need to get the filters to really filter out the lighting, because you're really having an impact on you're not listening to me, are you? Okay, great. You know what? Have a great day. I just walk out, because it's like in one ear, not the other.
I stopped saying anything when I told I brought up a cigar, and it was a Liga Privada T52 at a lounge, and it had mold on it. And like, oh, that's just plume. And he's like, we should probably get more. That. We should probably get more for that. I'm leaving now.
Oh,
it's like, do you understand? A, do you understand?
Plume is mold.
B, do you understand that this doesn't have cellophane on it? So
I just in the Cigar Connoisseurs is one of the groups, and someone just posted a photo, and I've seen several different photos over the last few months of someone taking a picture in a lounge in a humidor, and they were either Tatuajes or Drew Estate, uncellophane, and it was like, and it was solid mold, like you couldn't even get to the cigar. It was white all the way across, like you didn't want to touch it.
It's not cured meat, guys. It's not supposed to. You're not supposed to cut the rind off of this stuff, like
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cheese here.
But it goes like on your point, Ryan. Like, how are you not walking around the lounge or around your humidor. I do it on mine, and I mean, and I mean, it's not giant, but it's not a small humidor. And I go through every few weeks, and every tray I pull up, I'm looking, luckily my lights are only on for a couple hours a day. So they're off, 90% of the day. So I don't have to worry about, color sorting or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just making sure that there's nothing happening.
Not even business. It's not, you're doing it. You have a business, but I mean, when you're a cigar lounge and you have a humidor with your product that you've invested a lot of money in, it's that, that lighting, humidification, or you see the folks that will, build a humidor, and then they have I saw the one, they have a window. So at the register, they can keep an eye on what's going on. But that effing window is in direct line with another window, which is in direct line with the sun. It's still having an impact on.
Yeah, you ever see the ones at the windows, and there's it's like raining down the window. It has all the moisture going down. Like you could draw your name.
My biggest pet peeve is when it looked like it snowed inside.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's dust. Like, listen, no, that's not. That's using terrible, unfiltered, usually undistilled water that the particles are being sprayed and put. At least that's what somebody has told. Several people have told me, when you see that dust, more so it's probably just them not using the cleanest of water, and it's spraying and it's misting all of that particulate out of the water all over the cigars. Again, that's a huge turnoff. It's I might as well wash me.
It's the reason why you use water.
I go through 10 gallons of distilled water a week, in my humidor.
You bought a machine.
I bought a machine, and I had to fill it up.
He even make his own distilled water.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He bought a machine to make his own water.
Yeah, I donated that to Goodwill. So I go through 10 gallons a week that I buy distilled water. I have a machine, like it's a little air purifier inside the humidor that's got like these double carbon ceramic filters with UV light that sucks in the air, kills any bacteria, mold, anything that comes through the air, and then it just puts that fresh, clean air out. So no mold can start. It's just I don't get it.
Yeah, like you said, you have those conversations and you try and approach them nicely.
Exactly.
I agree,
Craig. Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
Like, God Almighty, it's like, you know what? Then just, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. I'm just trying to be observer of the obvious and give you a little bit of a help here. But
let me ask you this, Kerr. Do you think people are more knowledgeable about it today, or do you think people just notice it more today? What I mean by that is, in the 90s was like cigar care, no pun, no double word here, but like was cigar care like in like to the level it is today of like, oh, you got dust, or they'd be like, oh, go screw off, go to the other guy down the street, give him another $1.50 over there, or whatever it was? Or is it like, are we kind of in the cigar community becoming a little bit more refined in how we want to see our product? Does that make sense?
It's knowledge. I think you bring up a good point. If it's 1992 and you go into a cigar shop, and maybe someone started it because they want to start a business and they don't know these things, that's one thing. It's not 1992. You can have so much information at your fingertips, not only with the different AIs and Google and everything else, but also social media and all the people out there, shows like this, and where you talk about these things. If you don't know in 2025, I think there's a problem. I think at some
I
point,
agree.
I think at some point, and I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm saying if you don't know, like I'll have some folks, they'll ask a question or something. I'll be, even family members, I'll be like, don't you have fucking Google? Like, come on, man. It's
and even building the lounges, how they set everything up, and it's just like, have you never been into a lounge? I had someone ask me, because watch my humidor build, like, oh, why did you go with such thick cedar? Why didn't you use like a thin cedar veneer? Because I care about my cigars and it's a one-time build.
Yeah.
I added a couple $1,000, but I mean, legitly, I mean, that's it's a couple 100-year humidor. I mean, with the way I built it, it's literally for a couple of 100 years.
It's built to last.
It'll built to last versus, putting some thin, veneer, and just cedar. And it's just like, I don't know. We all know cedar is the best thing to age your cigars in, and to absorb that moisture and to kick it back out. And kiln dried Spanish cedar. Yeah.
Not Amish freaking quilt chest cedar. That you get into some of the smoke shops and you walk in and you leave with a handful.
It's like you went into a closet.
And I feel like I'm a freaking Amish Afghan. If I smell like freaking cedar for like fucking week.
It's the 90s. Did somebody build a closet over here?
That's what
all my closet was made out of.
But then you're talking about in the 90s, and there weren't cigar nerds, and then people didn't divulge their blends. You just smoked that. You knew it was Nicaraguan. You knew it was Honduran, Dominican Republic. That's all you knew about a cigar.
It was boiled.
I've had that, talk with manufacturers. They're like, oh, the heyday of when people didn't care. Now people think they know, but they don't. They want to know the blend and like, you're using Hamastrin. Yes. Fuck, you don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You don't know, you don't know that, that it's from, I got the some of the filler from Jalapa, some from Condega, and you're like, ooh, yeah, I like all that. Get the fuck out of here. There are people out there. I'm not saying there's not. That's like the 1%. And I do not put myself in that category at all. That's Dion Giolito. That's the 1%, and not too many people are in the same realm as him.
No, especially like people who've been around. Like we talked to Dr. Rodriguez from GTO. His family's owned the farm for 140 years or what have you. He's been around tobacco since he was born. He says, I could tell you the tobacco just by smelling the burn. That's because you've been around it. I could tell you you're smoking a cigar if you're around me. Or I could tell if it's this kind of wacky freaking, kerosene. But other than that, it's, you may be able to stick around and be able to pick up some flavors and guess some tobaccos based off of the strength and experience, but nothing that is freaking, idiot savant type scenario where you'll be able to rattle off the blend just by smelling it and tasting it.
I will tell you, I have witnessed Ish. Me and Messi were sitting in his what do you call those? The fenced in outdoor porch that's kind of fenced in. And
did you witness the man Ish, or did you witness Ish? Like kind of witnessed.
Yeah.
I witnessed both. To witness Ish is in all of its glory. But we gave Ish a brand new release cigar, and to his credit, he smoked about a quarter of it, and he's like, this doesn't feel completely long filler on how the draw, and he actually picked out several of the different types of leaves and then cut it open, and lo and behold, it was not as long filler as you had expected, and we looked up the blend and it was dead on.
Ish is pretty smart. He knows his
shit. When I say like the average I mean the average consumer. Like
no, but like just to see that and go, Pepsi challenged a cigar, and like you picked out. Now, granted, he didn't go 30% this, 25% this, but like you picked out the tobaccos blind out of a cigar that you've never even like. That's I can't do that.
Yeah. Mike said, did you find a difference? I love a box press for fishing, but has less tobacco to be able to squish. So assume the blend is different. Yeah. I think rule of thumb is it's anywhere between a half a leaf to a full leaf. They leave out to be able to box press it. That's more like a square box press. If you're doing like a trunk press or a very soft box press, I'm told that you can leave it as your regular production and then still get that soft box press and not have to worry about it cracking. But yeah, definitely the shape, it's definitely going to funnel the smoke through the cigar differently, obviously, because it's a different shape. That's why I like a Bellicoso, you know, it kind of funnels it all down. So you're getting a little bit, in my opinion, maybe in my mind, you know, more of a concentrated smoke since it's coming down to a point. But I don't know. But yeah,
I can tolerate a 60 ring gauge box press better than I could tolerate it.
Yeah.
Without, and then the one Steve makes, the Gran Elefante. That's a Corona cigar exclusive.
That thing was
hands down the best box pressed Gordo on the market today. Because you smoke it, you don't feel like you're smoking a Gordo, and it is just so good. All the way through.
It's the box pressed. I think even the end's a little tapered, but you're right. When you smoke, I smoke the oh gosh, which cigar is it? The one it's called Spanish Press, the La Gloria Cubana Spanish Press.
Yeah, Spanish Press. Yeah,
great cigar. I'll smoke a 6x60, no problem, and it doesn't feel like a 6x60.
Yeah,
no issues with it whatsoever.
I've never smoked anything bigger than a 60, and I don't see myself ever.
I've done a couple of 60. I did a couple of asylums, the 70s, you know, like on a long road trip. But it is a little unwieldy. But for me, boring as all get out. You know, because you're 2.5 hours, 3 hours in, you're like, yeah, I want something different.
You're a quarter of the way.
But I'm committed to this freaking cannon.
Yeah, but I'm committed, so I'm going to keep smoking it. So,
but I mean, Kerr, from a blending standpoint, like when you're that big, when you're 770, 880, 990, 10 by 100, like you're just throwing tobacco in that thing, right? Like you're not blending it in a way
Kevin said,
that's like
it's very one-dimensional. I mean, it may be a good flavor, you know,
but there's no way to make it feel like a Toro. Like have that flavor profile, right?
No. The only way you could do it, in my opinion, and I don't know if anybody's ever done it, is to do a double binder and a double wrapper. You know, and then you might, you know, which I don't know how hard that is to do. Well, double binder is easy because a lot of manufacturers do it. Double binder, double wrapper, and then you have a chance, I think, of having some flavor though.
It's just I think after 60 ring gauge, anything when you start getting up in the 70s and 80s, I just think you're just smoking smoking tobacco. I mean, I know you're smoking tobacco like this, you know what I'm saying? You know, but at that point, it's like Kevin says, like if you got a 6x60 or 6x70 or 6x80, it's like after probably an hour, you're like, okay, I'm ready to move on, and you're like, oh shit, I only got a quarter of this done. Like, but Duncan would always say this. He's like, even with some normal blends of Robusto or Toro, he'd put down a cigar. I'm like, what? He goes, it's giving me all it can give me. It's the same cigar now, and it's good, but I don't want to have that same flavor. It doesn't keep me engaged.
Yeah, and most people, then they only smoke them because of the price point. You know, you can go from a Toro or Robusto to a Gordo for $1. You know, and people are like, oh, I'm getting twice the cigar for only $1 more.
You're not,
you know, or go up to a 70 ring gauge. Asylum sells the shit out of them.
Oh,
you know,
of course.
So you go from a Robusto to a 70, and it's $1 more, $1.50 more, and you're like, I'm getting like 3 cigars.
Yeah,
for just, you know, but those people, they don't care anyway. They're just, I don't want to say cheap cigar smokers, because they're smoking what they like. They're smoking within their budget. Nothing wrong with that. But those people are they're just cigar smokers. Yeah.
I mean, I know people that smoke 770s and 880s on like a daily, regular basis, and I'm just like, dude, that's like I feel like you're like, was it the old Winchester thing? You know, load on Monday and shoot till Sunday. Like, dude, you lit that thing up at 6 a.m. and you're smoking it till 6 p.m., dude. Like that is all you did all day. Like
my buddy Rex, who's the manager of Roboda, he likes big ring gauges. I actually made the Robusto Magnifico, or whatever we called it, for Stug Road cigars. It was we didn't go 60 ring gauge, but we did a 6x56. He wanted a bigger ring gauge. He smokes 60 and 70s, and that's what he likes. And I always give him a hard time whenever I see him, but he likes bigger ring gauges, and some people do. But I'm kind of in the same camp you guys are in. First of all, it's uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with feeling weird putting something that big in my mouth. It's just the jaw. My jaw ends up hurting after a while after smoking something that big. And then I just don't feel like it's as engaging as other sizes.
I feel like I should be paid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you guys think about La Gloria after Ernesto left? I don't think they missed a beat. La Gloria just they didn't miss a beat in my opinion.
Cigars. I
I
told you the Spanish press. That's I've always battled with the construction of that thing, but that's the one cigar that I feel like whenever I buy it, it's a flip of the coin whether the burn's going to be good on it or not. But the flavor is that good that I tolerate the freaking irritation of the burn.
Yeah, and there are cigars we've said this before. There are cigars that I have in my humidor. I can see the rack right here, and sometimes it's like, oh, I really want one, but it's like there are certain nights I only get one cigar a night, and it's just like I don't have time because if I get halfway through it like normal and it starts to fuck up, I don't have time to start another one. Yep. And now I'm just mad, so I just bypass them constantly. Because it's just like you don't know what you're going to get. The construction is so hit and miss. You just don't know. You don't know what it's going to be.
I unfortunately think the construction in a lot of brands the last couple of years have suffered.
I see more of it. I just think with volume, you're going to see more of it. I think there's a number of reasons why you'll see construction issues across the board and. Like you said, if it seems like after COVID, because COVID was during that time when everybody had so much product, they were like buy 3 get 15 boxes free.
Yeah,
and then after that, it just seemed like the supply and demand factor always impacts the construction, especially if you have a brand that comes out and it hits it big, and then there's a big call for it.
Yeah, you're right, and there are brands that have suffered that fate, and I don't and I don't smoke them because like I said it's just you never know. My boy Matt Booth, Room 101, they had a little bit of an issue, I think for probably a solid 2 years, with some of their construction issues, but like you said, the cigars I was smoking were so good, it was just like. You know what? I'm if I run into an issue, I'm going to deal with it because cigars are so good. And now, like I said, they've definitely, turned that around. And there's, in my opinion, there's no such thing, definitely no such thing as a construction issue with that cigar. I'm seeing construction issues with Padron lately, man. I've gone into a couple lounges and I've been purposely going straight to the Padrones and seeing the wrappers of how loose they're wrapped, and you could like there's no more like tight invisible seams. The seams are lifting, and it's not just the ones on top. I'll look underneath, and it's just like, man, and I know one general manager of a lounge. He's the one that pointed it out to me like 2 years ago. And he's like, hey, come over here and take a look at this. And he goes, we just got these in, or we've been getting these in. We just got this box in. Let me open it up and see what's inside of it. And then I'm like, God damn, that's a Padron. I'm like, he's like, yeah, it's just, everybody has some issues every now and then, I guess, but some more than others.
Yeah. You go through a phase, man. So I got to ask you guys, Ryan, do you watch college football?
No.
You don't watch college football?
No.
That's fine. We'll let you slide on that. Since we are, on a Wednesday now. Normally we've been talking about this on Monday. So I do have to talk about the new rankings. Because last weekend was a weekend of some awesome upsets. And I think Kevin and I both share the same excitement over the teams that were upsetted last week. And then there were some teams that it was no upset. They're just good to see. Nice to see them lose. First of all, Penn State lost to UCLA.
Yep.
And that just made me happy. And I'm from Pennsylvania. That just made me really happy because I just felt like they were part of the bloated rankings early on.
Penn's always got high rankings, from what I understand, though.
They always have.
They're a
Yeah,
Big
they always
10,
start
right? Penn's a Big 10, right?
Lately they've had some big. I remember at the whole Sandusky thing. That whole thing, obviously, kind of put a big, shadow over them. But lately they've been getting. Last couple of years they've been getting some very inflated rankings, in my opinion. But it was good to see them drop the UCLA. It's not an upset, but it was good to see Miami beat Florida State. Florida State, still bitching and complaining about the whole Alabama issue. Was it last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
When they didn't get into playoffs. And who was the other big upset, or at least an upset that happened over the weekend? The big loss. Jesus, I'm blanking on it right now. I'm looking it up and I can't find it anywhere.
But yes, Ryan, Penn State's in the Big Ten. Yes.
Yeah, Big Ten.
That's what I thought.
So Ohio State's still number one, which I think they should have been. And I'm not. Listen, I'm a Michigan fan, so I am no fan of Ohio State, but I'm objective. They should have been number one from the beginning, from the get go. Texas, that's the other team too. Texas lost. That was good to see. Miami, Florida's 2, or Oregon's 3. Ole Miss 4, Texas A&M 5, Oklahoma 6, Indiana 7, Bama is 8, Texas Tech 9, and Georgia is 10. Penn State, not on the map. They slid out of the top 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got Indiana this week, so that's going to be our biggest game of the season. It really is. If Indiana loses, they'll definitely drop out of the top 15, I think.
It's pretty tough here. I mean, and I'm looking here. You know what number Texas is?
Weren't they like 19 or 18?
BYU's 18, Virginia's 19, Vanderbilt's 20, Arizona's 22, Memphis 23, South Florida's 24. Texas isn't on the top 25.
Oh, I thought they were just made it. Oh, wow.
No. And they said things are looking up for Florida State. Yes, they're looking up for Florida State. You're looking up at the other 24 ranked teams because they round out the bottom at ranked at number 25 right now.
So I saw a funny joke about gambling on football, and it was this wife that was videotaping her husband, and he's a huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I've seen that whole series.
And she looks at him and she's like, "So would you gamble on snow being in Alaska this year if you knew the last 30 years that snow fell in Alaska?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What? Like, if I asked you to get," he goes, "Yeah, I gamble everything I had because I had 30 years of data showing it was going to snow." And she looks at him, she goes, why do you gamble on the Cowboys when you have 30 years of data?
Yeah, did you see the one she was talking about the VCR? Like, do we have a VCR? Like, no. Like, why do you need a VCR? And it's like, oh, so I could pop in the tape of the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
I will say I'm not really a sports guy, but the best documentaries that you could watch in period are sports documentaries. And the Michigan, I think it was Michigan State, the sign stealing one on Netflix.
Oh, it's Michigan.
That's Michigan.
That was amazing.
Wow.
What that guy did to be able to do that was incredible. I don't think it should be illegal. It's like card counting in Vegas is legal unless you use a device.
Listen, man.
I don't have a problem with
everybody steals signals.
Of course they do.
That's
what I mean. That was a great documentary.
You know what? When I was in college, we actually were playing a team. We were stealing our signals. So what we had to do is we had to have 3 coaches giving signals, and every time we got off the field, it would mix it up who was giving the real signals. So you had one guy give it a signal, one guy give another signal, the real signal, and then someone else give it a signal and going, letting them know that, hey, we know you're stealing our signals. So it happens.
Kerr, from watching hundreds of like 30 on 30 ESPN. ESPN is great. You could take any team from any season and make it look like either one of two things. They were the greatest football team that has ever been produced in the history of football, Or you could take that same team from that same year with different clips and make it look like the worst team in the history of the NFL ever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
I will say, though, the
100%.
Netflix Untold series is better than the 30 for 30.
Yeah, I haven't
Really?
seen it.
In my opinion, yeah, it's just like their Untold is like their documentary series. So like the sign stealing one is Untold Sign Stealer. It's a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing one on
it's
Ohio
really
State, like
good.
on the band, I think.
Yeah.
Coming up. I think it's just on the band, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I did see something about the Ohio State band, because they're really good.
Oh
the
no,
best
they're like when I was in marching band in high school, they were huge.
The best damn band in the land. Yeah.
They're the ones that I think did Thriller several years back that just was perfect.
Oh, they did a great Thriller.
I'm pretty sure that was them. Yeah, though they're as somebody that did marching band for 3 years in high school, it is much harder than it looks.
Yeah. What was your instrument?
I played trumpet for almost 10 years.
Oh, can you still play?
My mouth is probably fairly shot, but when I picked it up, I picked up my brother-in-law's trumpet, I don't know, 9-10 years ago, and I was still able to do my scales. The fingers were much more willing than my mouth.
Yeah.
That's what she said. That's what I heard.
Yeah, always, right? But I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. I picked up trumpet in 5th grade when I went over to a Christian school. There was 12 kids in my school, and I really, really liked this girl. And she was 3rd chair flute and 3rd chair trumpet sat next to 3rd chair flute in this band. I chose what I thought was an instrument that had 3 fucking notes. I was fucking wrong. I looked at the saxophone, like way too many notes. I'm like, trumpet's got 3 keys. It's only got to have 3 notes, right? Boy, was I, and then I was committed. My parents were like, sorry, you gotta, but I mean, I liked it in the end, but I haven't played for obviously a long time. I quit after high school, but I mean, I had a full, a box Selmer setup with all the mutes. I played jazz. I was 1st chair jazz sophomore year of high school against the seniors. So like I was pretty good.
Nice. So Ryan, let me ask you: have you been following anything to do with the UAPs, UFOs, specifically the 3-Eye Atlas?
The comet.
The comet
that's coming. Yeah.
Comment.
Comet.
The one that's supposed to hit us in like 20 years or something.
No.
Atlas is one of the first or second comet that's coming into our solar system that's not from our solar system.
Oh,
yeah, the interstellar.
Interstellar, and what they're and all the reports are, it's not acting like a normal comet. It's been slowing down, moving a little bit different. Some of the gases and that it's releasing are different. So there's a lot of theories on that it's really not a comet. It's man-made. It's some sort of
not not man-made, but non-human intelligence.
Thank you, Kevin.
You take into account AI, you take into account quantum computing, and the really weird thing about quantum computing is it kind of demonstrates the idea of a multiverse. If you look at the way quantum computing works and how it solves things at such a fast level, nobody understands where it's pulling that computing power from. And kind of one of the Reddit ideas, if you want to get crazy about it, is it's actually attaching itself to other universes and drawing power. Again, theoretical, but that's really it's like a mind. So Willow was put out by Microsoft.
Yeah.
And it solved a problem that would have taken like 7 to 9 septillion years, and it solved it in under 5 minutes. They don't understand how, but they're going to hook up AI to it and hope for the best. Like that's
crazy, right?
To me, it's kind of like I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he kind of threw up a fun, interesting idea of like, maybe these things are coming here to make sure we don't fuck it up, because they already are so far ahead of us, and they're like, all right, we're going to come over and make sure that you guys are doing this the right way type deal.
Wow.
And then once we're convinced, then we're going to take off, but it's just, I don't know. Like, we've never been at a spot where it's more sci-fi ever, where like this stuff's real now, and it's all Gene Attenborough's or Gene Roddenberry's fault. I was listening to
Carl Sagan.
No. Gene Roddenberry was before Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
But this futurist was talking about how this is all stems from Gene Roddenberry's, because all these little like nerds that grew up watching Star Trek were like, I want to play with that technology, and they essentially designed it. And so I don't know. It's just really weird when you go down the space of quantum computing, like things coming in from outer space and everything. That, what is their interest now at this point? I don't know. It's you got to usually be smoking something or drinking something to really dive into a conversation like this, because it's mind bending in many ways.
Well, I think when you get into different things like quantum physics, and you get into like the CERN super collider and all those things, they definitely can go down a path where it gets like, I just kind of tap out, because it's very interesting, but it could go down a very deep spiral rabbit hole.
It scare the shit out of you.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, especially when you start talking about, Kevin, I was watching one of your old clips about being in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And glitches and shit like that. And then I think the one thing that's kind of comical as well is that all this stuff is now coming to light, but it's probably just maybe coincidental, but it's coming around at the same time where we have AI production that is getting so damn good, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. So now it's like you could turn something on and see an alien freaking jump out of a freaking spacecraft and drink a Slurpee and be like, fucking AI. And it could be real. It could be
just in the last 6 months, how clean AI production has gotten for videos and everything else.
VO3, man, like I said, that just, it's insane what VO3 has been able to do. And now with Google's Nana Banana or whatever it is, it's getting scary. It's definitely blurring the line between reality and AI.
You can't tell. It's so tough. I said, Kevin and our bullies chat, the new 3AI or 3i whatever 3i Atlas. I'm actually still laughing over saying it's man-made, and it's like obviously it's not man-made. Thank you for picking up on that, Kevin. But it's fucking pretty. I feel dumb now, but
well,
the 3i Atlas is now this guy saying that CERN has opened up a portal, and that they've been doing these remote viewings through the teleportal, and they know that the 3i Atlas is a ship and it's got reptilians on board.
Well, we got a Stargate right down the street from me.
That's where you that shit crazy there.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, because you're
Cheyenne Mountain, Stargate.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Cheyenne Mountain. Yeah, I forgot that you're
Stargate. RDA is right over there.
I thought that was like a burger place. It's like, man, I got a Waffle House down the road.
How far are you from Cheyenne Mountain?
45 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
NORAD.
So when the comet is coming, like, you're going to be the first one, over there, like you can just get in your truck and drive down there.
Well, I don't think they're going to be letting civilians into Cheyenne Mountain, but they from what I understand, they divided up a lot of NORAD and moved it so it wasn't all in one spot. But you can look on top of the mountain and you'll still see all the antennas. But the whole thing with Stargate, the movie, not only the movie, but the TV series was Stargate was housed in Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I watched the movie and I watched some of the series, but I didn't realize that the Stargate was in Cheyenne Mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's also one of the best zoos you will ever go to is the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Just throwing that in there.
Well, they get
Really?
a bunch of animals from other planets.
Dude,
I'm sure
right.
I mean, I'm sure it's awesome.
If the animal won't specifically attack you, like meaning it's not like a lion or something like that, you could feed it. So like you could feed the elephants, you could feed the rhinos, you could feed they have sloth just crawling over the top of your head in one of the facilities. You can literally reach up and just pet the damn thing. Like it's great. It's the most interactive. You could walk up to a wallaby and give it a hug. It is the most interactive zoo. They're just hopping right out there in the middle. So anybody ever go to Colorado, head out to the Springs, go to Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. I promise you.
If I'm coming out to Colorado, the first place I'm going to is Casa Bonita.
Yeah, well, now it's good from what I hear. I still haven't been there, believe it or not.
How far is it away from you?
About 45 north, I think.
Okay. So
but it's a wait from what I was told.
It's a year. Like it's like a year waiting list.
Yeah.
So
Casa
Bonita.
The South Park, it's the only real place in South Park restaurant wise that they ever talked about. And it was only supposed to be a couple $1 million project when Trey Parker and Matt Stone bought it, but they've sunk like 20 or 30 million into it.
I think it's up to like 70 million.
It's something ridiculous. And now, granted, they made a ton of improvements and they brought in a ton of whatever they wanted to, and they've got the money to burn.
But
yeah, it's a pretty big deal out here in Colorado for sure.
I've literally been watching all the South Park movies all week. I finally getting caught up on all of them. So I've been watching.
Well, you could watch the documentary they made about the rehabilitation of it. They put out a little video. Not like a full documentary, but like they talked about it. You could search Casa Bonita reconstruction on YouTube, and they talk about it in several series and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why when you mentioned, I was like, that's familiar, like South Park. I was like, oh, I did see them talk about the bits and pieces of them purchasing it. And like you said,
that I've watched. What is that? Does anybody know what Fat Bears Week is? What are your thoughts on Chunk? I don't know what
Gay Week. I don't know.
Fat Bears.
I think I got a completely different definition.
6 months ago, Kerr would have been a fat bear 6 months ago.
No, a year ago.
Not a year ago.
Okay,
he definitely would have been
6 months ago. So I was still good.
This is where defining terms comes into play here, because I hear the term fat bear and I think of something completely different.
Yeah, it's like North Dakota's version of whatever happens in Key West.
It's an annual event.
Fest.
It's an annual event that's held in late September or early October at Katami National Park and Preserve in Alaska, commemorating the seasonal preparations made by the Alaskan Peninsula brown bear inhabiting that area. They ready themselves for hibernation. So it looks like the spectators from around the world are invited to cast votes to determine the bear that has the most effectively accumulated fat reserves. That does not sound exciting at all. It almost seems like, everybody's just going to go there and sit around and watch bears and be like, yes, the fattest. Okay.
Hey, Mike, what's Chunk? What's your thoughts on Chunk, he asked?
I'm assuming Chunk is the fat bear. So I can only assume.
I don't know.
I could stand up and show you a fit.
Bear 32, Bear 32, also known as Chunk, won the 2025 Fat Bear Week competition despite a broken jaw that made fishing more difficult. He beat he hit over 1,200 pounds.
Wow.
Geez, I feel like this is going to be like on Fox Sports next year.
That's 1,200 a 1,200-pound bear.
That's not very big.
I've been at like Buffalo Wings and Rings when I meet my buddies up every now and then, all my cop buddies for dinner.
Is it really called Buffalo Wings and Rings?
Yeah, Buffalo Wings and Rings. Yeah, there's Buffalo Wild Wings, and then the knockoff is Buffalo Wings, but they actually have better food than Buffalo Wild Wings. But yes, we go out there because they allow us to smoke cigars outside. you know, and the covered patio, and it got fans, and it's really nice out, and a whole bunch of TVs. But yeah, when it's not football season, there's like a bunch of like weird shit on. Like we'll watch like women's softball, we'll watch Fat Bear Week, you know, like whatever's on. We're like, yeah, turn that up, you know. It's
Ryan, you said 1,200 pounds is not heavy for a bear. You know, we're still talking about bears, right? Not what you were talking about earlier.
Grizzlies, I would think before hibernation would be upwards
of
1,800.
They're grizzlies. I looked it up, and grizzlies are Kodiak bears are about 1,500.
I thought they were bigger than that. I know. I've heard of bears killed over 2,000.
Yeah. Polar bears are about 1,500. The heaviest bear on record is a polar bear at 2,200 pounds.
You know, I never
ranging around that 1,200 to 1,500 pounds.
You know, I never realized until Jessica and I went to like Maggie Valley in North Carolina years ago on vacation. We stayed in a log cabin up there. I didn't realize how big bears were until we were in like this place. We didn't see. I mean, it was a stuffed bear, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, oh my god, that's huge. And the lady that owned the place, and like, and that's really, you know, like that's, you know, there's obviously not a lot inside the stuffed bear. You know, it's basically just the skin, but like, yeah, no, that's really how big they are. And I'm like looking at the paws with the claws. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like that thing walks around.
Imagine this, Kevin. Imagine a fucking, even a 1,000-pound bear, right? You're alone in the woods, you see a 1,000-pound bear. If you run, it's going to outrun you.
Yeah.
If you climb a tree, it climbs a tree fucking like nobody's business. You're going to be able to go up a tree. You're fucked. And they swim really well.
Yeah.
So you understand when they say you just play dead, because it's like the only other option is real dead, because they're going to outrun you. They're going to outclimb you. They're going to outswim you. Yeah. That's scary shit, man.
Well, if I was hiking, we came here on our honeymoon. I carried a 357 on a leg holster going through the woods, because I don't want to be the guy. The game warden was like, you know, we haven't had an attack. And I was like, that's great. I'm here on my honeymoon. You know how many things happen to people on their honeymoons? I don't want to be that statistic. So I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not worried about the bears. I'm worried about the mountain lions, because they just pounce out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
You guys took my scenario of just a bear being fast and can climb and swim, and Ryan's got a gun and you got mountain lions jumping out at you.
No, you're screwed. You're screwed in very many.
I carry a lightsaber. I can't have a lightsaber.
Black bears are the only bears I'd want to encounter, because typically they're much more skittish. Like we have them around here in Palmer Lake. You open your back door and they're gone.
Yeah.
Brown bears are not skittish at all, and polar bears I think kill more people than anybody, because they're not used to seeing humans. And when they do, they're not a fear, like a source of fear. Like black bears, humans are a source of fear.
You know, we saw a black bear when we were in Montana and in Wyoming. We're at Yellowstone. We pulled up black bears that rolled down a hill, and it was probably, I don't know, 15, 20 yards, 50 yards away. And it was eating this tree, and we were yelling. I was yelling at it and beeping the horn. Didn't even want to be bothered. I'm just eating. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
Yep.
You know. But Kevin, like you said, with the size of bears, bison. Holy shit. We were cruising down through, and you know, Jennifer and I had this conversation of, look, honey, this is wildlife. You do not want to be those people on TV that say, I'm going to get out and take a selfie, and then you end up getting trampled and fucking, right?
Yeah. I'm like, have at it. Please. Hold on. Let me turn my video camera on.
She still gets a little too close. We get deer in our backyard. She gets close. I'm like, listen, they're going to freaking charge you one day, and then I'm just going to have a really funny video. So we're driving down the road, and we were just at a location where everybody was out. They had all their cameras because I think it was a grizzly was eating an elk carcass. And everybody's taking pictures and watching him. He's sitting there freaking, you know, shushing away the freaking vultures and shit. So we go down the road, and literally, like, I don't know, it's probably 25 feet away is a bison walking alongside of the road right by our truck.
Oof,
and
it's huge.
I mean, I was just like, holy F. and they look awkward. They're like so tall and high. Their eyes are offset like a fish. They look like you just push them over and they'd fall over. And this one had a little limp to it. So I'm like, let's turn around and get a good picture. He turned around and Jen goes, I'm going to get out. And I'm like, honey, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back alone and be like, listen, here's the deal. This bison got her because no one will believe me. But we got some pretty good close pictures of this bison. But you really don't truly appreciate just how massive they are until you're 20 feet away from it. And you're like, fuck.
I'd live stream it and like, hey, this isn't going to turn into another Gabby Petito. Oh, this is really what happened to Jen.
It's like the eyeballs are like this big. I mean, they're just so flipping. They're beautiful.
And they're fast.
They're so massive.
And they're fast.
They don't look like they don't look fast. They look like they topple over. But Jesus H. I mean, I'm like, it was impressive.
I don't know. I feel like every year, every other year, up by Estes Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, you could go up there, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean, we've done it several years in a row. You'll be 30 or 40 elk just laying right in people's front yards, just like whole 4 or 5 houses just covered in elk. And there's always that one fucking idiot. Look at that big old bull. Oh, there's no other bulls around, and you're going up to his harem.
Yeah.
And then they get run over, and then they're like, oh, you should shoot it. Like, dude, you approached it. It didn't approach you. Like, you entertained yourself by going up to it, and it ran you over or gored you out or so. Elk are huge, too, and so are moose.
And,
like, I don't understand why people are like, yeah, let's just go up and let's ride it.
No.
Yeah, I've told the story before. I didn't realize how big a moose was. A friend of mine, she moved to Alaska. Her husband was in the military, and she was inside of a store in Fairbanks. And a moose was out. Nobody could leave the store because there was a moose just walking back and forth in front of the store, and had to wait till it left. But it had walked next to or standing right next to a Suburban, and I had the exact same year Suburban, and like the moose's like jaw or whatnot, was above the top of the Suburban. So I'm like, and it like took up like half. I had to walk out. I was at work when I saw this photo, and I walked outside and I got next to my Suburban. I go, get the fuck out of here! Yeah. A moose is this fucking big? Like, but when you show them, like, there's no point. Like the animals of the Serengeti, there's no point of reference.
For sure. Yeah.
Open land, you're like, wow, man, that's pretty cool. You see next to another animal, like, oh yeah, and then you put it next to a Suburban, you're like, oh.
Same when my buddy was trying to get a hyena as a pet, and there was like some breeders here, like you had to have some serious licensing to get a hyena.
Ryan,
he was talking about
Florida. Ryan, it's Florida.
It's Florida, so a hyena. So we're at the tattoo
Tiger
shop.
King country.
And it was the one of the tattoo artists that wanted a hyena. So we started Googling pictures of hyenas. I thought hyenas were little dogs. They're not. Hyenas are like lions.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest bite forces in the animal kingdom.
Because there's this, it was in Africa. This African tribesmen, and this hyena was sitting next to him on its haunches like a dog, and this guy had a chain in his hand, and it went around the hyena's neck to like this collar. And on his haunches, it was sitting taller than this man. And I go, what the fuck is that? Like, that's a hyena. And I guess there are different size hyenas, but I never realized a hyena. And that man could have been 4 or 5 feet tall. It didn't make a difference. Even if he was 4 feet tall, that hyena sitting on his haunches was taller than that man was. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I just thought it was a dog.
They were showing some of the hyenas. I just looking it up. So, like it, like you said, it is bigger than a lion, and they literally could stand up on their hind legs and probably put their paws on your shoulders and look over you.
Is the hyena bigger than the lion? I thought the lion was bigger than the hyena.
I think. Well, there's a lot of lions.
I thought the African lion was bigger than the laughing hyena.
Well, this one's not laughing. This one looks sad. So maybe it's the sad
Yeah.
kind of big.
So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, some of them animals were it's a crazy. I love my buddy that lives. He's a cigar guy. He lives down in Australia, and he's always posting photo or videos. And whenever they fight and because they're always fighting in people's driveways. Like two kangaroo, and they're boxing, and you can't leave your house because if you get up, like both of them will turn on you.
Oh, and not fuck with those. God,
I love the ones that they're at the zoo, and the kangaroo comes over and he starts flexing, and it's got and I'm like, oh my god!
Did you see the one where do you remember the video where the guy punched it when it went after its dog?
His dog, yeah,
like I boxed it. I mean, legit.
Things turn around and square up on you. It's like they're all muscle.
Oh yeah.
And they got the tail.
Yeah. They lean back on that tail and they kick you. They'll kick you like a horse, and then they got claws on their feet so they can kick you and like just disembowel you instantly.
Yeah. They're not just cute little freaking stuffed animals, man. They are nasty. Hyenas can get up to 190 pounds.
Yeah, I think lions are about 350.
Yeah, lions are a lot bigger. I think there was
a 200-pound hyena.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like a mountain lion. A mountain lion's only 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some bobcats and mountain lions.
It's 80 pounds. It fights like a world-class boxer, right? I don't care. 80 pounds of just pure energy is a whole lot different.
I mean, not going back to Wolverines. I mean, they're nasty.
Oh, very much. Absolutely. And you know what the thing too is? I love bald eagles. I love eagles. I think they're one of the most beautiful birds. And when you talk to people from Alaska, they're the most annoying fucking birds ever. Like they're like the Chicago pigeon up there in Alaska. They raid your garbage. There'll be 30 of them outside of a store in the park. Like I've seen photos, and I'm like, part of me is just like, man, that would be so cool though to see it one time. But people are like, they dive bomb you, they chase after you. Like, damn.
I've always wanted to see one of the harpy eagles, ones that are like 5 feet tall, like the giant ones. When we went to in Kentucky, the Raptor Rehabilitation Center in Kentucky, I took Jessica and I paid for like a private tour because she loves owls, and they had a bunch of owls and hawks and eagles, and we got to see like up close, inside the cages with them, and just monster birds, absolutely monstrous. And it's insane. And then to hear a hawk, just to hear the screech, it will haunt your dreams.
Oh, I know.
And then eagles sound ridiculous, absolutely just stupid, but yeah. And then to see like the big, I don't know which one's the big one, the barn owl or whatever, Jessica got it. She adopted that one, and just a monstrous owl. And I'm like, oh my God. Then, when they put their wings out, and, they say, oh, they have like a 6-foot wingspan. You never really think about what that is until you see it unfold its wings. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. I got to turn my head.
Yeah. It's giant.
Oh, it is. So let me ask you this. If you could snuggle up with an animal and it won't kill you, okay, for whatever time you're with it, what would it be? Mine would be a lion. I'd want to feel what that raw power behind that paw feels like personally. I think I'd be a lion for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if there's an animal that I think about that I want to snuggle up next to.
Well, like if you could like go up and like what's an animal you'd love to pet or experience, or like for me, I think it would be really cool to snuggle up next to a lion and see what that feels like, and sit on them and lay on them and see their fur. But that's just me. But what would you? Would you do a bear, Kerr?
I don't know what I'd do. I mean, lions are cool, but then I feel like if I know they're not going to attack me, then I'm just walking up to a freaking 250-pound cat, and cats annoy the shit out of me. So, I don't know. I don't know what animal I'd want to snuggle up next to, or at least get pretty close to, where I could touch it. I could do anything. I would probably, knowing it wouldn't kill me or eat me.
Yeah,
would be a shark, like a great white.
That was my
Okay,
answer.
yes.
There is
No.
a
They
great
scare
white.
the fuck out of me.
Yeah, just to be up, just to be able to get up near those teeth, like be able to
Oof,
touch
yeah.
the tooth. It, you know, like if it would let you, and just to feel that power of
just seeing how fast they are in the water, how they freaking jump. I mean, the ability to get that much air out of the water, you know, jumping out of like killer whales too. Another thing that's just blows my mind, how something that big can move that fast and actually get that much power to get out of the air. I mean, to get out of the water into the air, and then just to be, that's really the only thing that I think I would want to kind of, if I could get close to.
Yeah, either a great white or like a sperm whale, you know, like the blue whale, you know. I'd love you. I've always wanted to get.
I'd want to ride it though.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I would definitely, you know, maybe take it for, you know, hook on the fin, let it take it for a little ride. You know, I've always wanted to be up on I wanted to go on a boat and then see how big like a blue whale is. You know, yeah, I mean, still to this day, and you think about dinosaurs, you think about everything else that has ever lived on the planet, and the blue whale that is currently living in the ocean is the largest creature that has ever existed in the history of the world. And
I thought there was bigger back in the dino days.
No, as from what they say, the blue whale is the largest creature that has ever,
they're 100 feet.
You know, that has ever been on this planet.
Yeah, so if you think about it,
Brian, gorilla. So land animal, gorilla. Okay. I'm taking Brian's answer. A sea creature, great white. Land creature, gorilla. Fuck yeah, big old silverback.
Gorillas would be interesting. Yeah, I think.
Imagine shaking that hand.
But yeah, I mean, again, because Kevin, we messaged about this all the time. It's like, you know, Jennifer or Jessica will send like this video of a monkey. And like these monkeys come up, they're cute, they're stealing food, or a chimpanzee. I'm like, no way, they'll eat your face. No,
they have.
Yeah, I know. I don't trust them. I don't trust.
If you ever go up to Busch Gardens in Tampa, they have the gorilla exhibit, and as you're walking through, you know, they have facts about the gorilla, and they've got like whatever stuff. But in there is a like an axe handle. And like a big axe, I mean, you know, you get a good axe handle, it's a couple inch diameter, and it's broken in half. And they tell you like one of the gorillas in the habitat picked it up, didn't break it over its knee, just held it in its hand and snapped it in half, and then just set it on the ground. And you can actually, you know, you're right there. It's not behind glass or anything. You can feel it. I mean, it's attached to the display, but it's just like, just to pick an axe up and then just snap it in half.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we were in Brookfield Zoo, because I grew up in the Chicagoland area, and they had the big gorilla exhibit there. And I don't know how thick that glass was, but it's inches thick. This thing swung from one end and hit the glass and broke it, like spidered it up. And you're just like, my cousin started to cry. Like it was like a gunshot went off.
Yeah.
And everyone started to scream. They shut the exhibit down. But I guess what he did, I didn't realize later they were telling you what happened is it's layered glass. So he broke the first couple of layers.
Yeah.
It's not like he broke through it. Like the integrity of it wasn't, you know, fully compromised. But you're like, damn, dude, bullets can't do what you just did.
I know. I felt that way. And it's very eerie when you go to the Atlanta Aquarium. And I think it's still the largest piece of glass in the world. And you go right up to when we got to the main, because you go through all these little different aquariums before you go into the big room with, I mean, the
two
glass,
whale sharks are in there.
You know, they one just passed away.
Really, the Japanese aquarium attached to the sushi house is actually bigger. I only say that in jest. I say that in joke.
Okay.
But the Japanese aquarium is bigger than the Atlanta aquarium now.
Is it? Okay.
But it was for ever since it was built the biggest.
Yeah, you know, and first thing I did was made a beeline just for that glass. I started feeling it, and then I started going.
Tunnel.
I went right up to where I knew because I saw how it was built, and I think the glass was actually built in Japan and shipped over, and they set the two pieces side by side, and it was such a machine to fit. Like they just pushed them together. Like there's no glue or epoxy, so if you know where it's at,
like
so
a tongue and groove.
I went flat, straight up next to each other.
Oh shit!
So I went straight up to it, and I found that seam, and I'm trying to, I'm looking at it, and but yeah, you're right up. Your hands are on that glass, and a fucking whale shark just swims by, and you're just, you're just in awe of these creatures.
Well, first off, you know how big of a tank you know how big of a tank you need to have two fucking whale sharks in it?
Yeah.
Like just the sheer tank size alone is impressive. And you can't see end to end of that tank.
It's insane how
like
big
the whale shark disappears.
Oh
and
yeah.
then comes back. Like that's how big this tank is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sight to see.
I've been to the Pittsburgh Aquarium, pretty decent size, but I've seen one too many movies where you go up to that glass and there's some crazed larger fish that'll break it, and then we all die.
Oh yeah. You ever see the and I don't know what aquarium it is, and it's not a real, it's like a big piece of glass, and the sharks and the animals look really fucking realistic. And they have one where like a great white is swimming, and then it turns and it makes a beeline for the glass, and it hits the glass, and the glass shatters, but it's all a TV screen.
Yeah,
and you don't know. And they have a video camera, and they're always filming the people that like fall down or they freak out, because they don't realize it's a TV screen. They think it's a real aquarium.
There was something they did. I think it was over in Japan, where they put LCD screens in like a lookout, or like they made like, I don't know, an 8-foot cantilever deck that looked over a view, and on the bottom of it they put an LCD screen, and
it cracks.
The switch for cracking it. People were like jumping onto the corner, like freaking out. They videoed the whole thing and put up photos of everybody. They only did it a couple of times a day. It's not like it happened all the time. But yeah, people. One guy had to get like checked out by a paramedic.
I don't know if I could do it, because the Grand Canyon has that lookout, where you walk out on the glass, the glass deck.
Yeah, the cantilever deck.
It's a mile down, and I don't know if I could do it, man.
Not owned by federal. That's not owned. That's not on U.S. property.
No, it's not.
It's on Indian land.
Oh, okay.
That's why they charge you like $80 a person to go out on that thing. It's not federal property. It's federally leased from the federal government, because the park butts up right next to it. But the part where that cantilever's, that's why they charge so much for, is that's actually on Indian land.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then they also have the one skyscraper. I don't know if it's in New York or where it's at, to where like you walk up next to the platform, and then it like tilts down, to where it goes completely flat, and it's all glass, and you're looking down at the top from the top of a skyscraper. And
I've seen that. Yeah. No, thank you.
It's not like I'm deathly afraid of. I'm deathly afraid of heights. I'll just throw that out there. But I remember we were in Bentonville, Arkansas, many years ago. We were going up there to buy a truck from my buddy Butch. We flew up there. We were going to have it shipped back, and we took this road up to like the top of the mountain. They had like a big flat spot where you could get out and you could see forever, and it was a sheer drop. And Butch got right up to the edge. And it was such a strong breeze coming. It was like blowing super strong. So he actually stood on the edge and then leaned out, and his arms were out. The only thing stopping him was that wind that was blowing him back. If that wind stopped, he just fell. And then I'm like 20 feet back up against the side of the mountain going, he's like leaning over. He's like, come on out and look at this, get the fuck out of here. That man had no fear of heights. at all.
Well, not a fear of heights. I mean, I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of, construction, like that thing being lowered. Oh, like I'm not afraid if I look over, or if I'm up high, like we've gone up, watchtowers and all that stuff, and you look over top and height's fine. It's someone who constructed something that goes forward and dangles you over the edge. I don't want to fall that far because someone just decided that they didn't check the pistons that day, or the cotter pin. Like I don't, that's my concern. Is not necessarily the height. It's or in your friend's case, if you're trusting the wind to keep you from falling, God's just gonna be like, hey, stupid. Stop.
Yeah, I have and I forget what the condition's called, but I kind of have that. It's an irrational fear of not being able to control myself from jumping, from a height, like when I've had that, and I've experienced it, like you want to jump, like from a half a mile up, 30 stories up, 40, and you're only over a handrail, and you're like, and you have that urge to jump.
Is that part of you that still has to push the button if it says don't push the button?
Jenny had that urge in Forrest Gump, and she stepped back.
Yeah.
Is that the same vein? Because I know you have that. Like if you walk in, like there's been Jennifer, we've been to places, and it's like, the big freaking red freaking handle says, do not touch. I'm like, Kevin would want to grab that and pull it. Or when we went out to the freaking out to Wyoming, and we went to the Sulphur Springs. And they're beautiful, incredibly beautiful, but they're like, if you even step foot in there, it's 200 degrees. It's got freaking sulfuric acid. It's got this. It's got that. It will eat you alive, not leave bones. And Jen's like, I just want to dip my finger in it. I'm like, you stupid. Why would you want to? I mean, how bad can it be? I'm like, 200 degrees of sulfuric acid sounds pretty bad to me. You come out fingerless.
Yeah,
the oil.
I did a tour of the Yingling. It was my very first cigar event ever, a Perdomo cigar event. And it was up at the Yingling Brewery up in Tampa. And we did a tour of the Yingling Brewery before the cigar event. Only a small group of us, maybe 12, 15, 20 people. And we walked into the main control room, buttons, switches, TV screens everywhere. Right in the middle of all that's a red button. And I made a beeline right for that red button. And there's a few of us talking. My buddy Keith was with me. He's like, what do you think that button does? I just reach up and press it. And I just pushed it in. And then right then the tour guide walks in, and she goes, there's always someone that pushes the red button. And then Keith goes, what does that red button do? She goes, nothing. But we figured if we put a red button there, everybody's going to press that red button, and they're not going to press the real buttons that do real things. So he's like, what do you think that does? I'm like, I don't know. Boop, pressed it in. Could have shut the whole fucking plane. But I told him, I go, listen, if that button was really important, there'd be a cover over that red button. Like you couldn't just accidentally bump into that button. So I was pretty sure that button didn't do anything important. So
pretty sure.
Do you guys remember that skyscraper climber in the 90s and early 2000s? He would go and climb skyscrapers in various cities.
I think it was like that Italian guy or something. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, he was in Chicago, and I think it was the John Hancock he scaled up, and they ended up taking him down like almost near the top. And I remember looking at my dad going, man, that would really hurt to fall. And he's like, the fall wouldn't really hurt as much as the sudden stop at the end.
Yeah. And you got, and the problem is you got time to think. That's what freaks me out. Like more than anything, you got time to think, like, is this going to hurt? And there's a pretty good chance it's not going to hurt. Like you're not going to feel it.
No, like you see these parkour guys on these high skyscrapers that slip, and you're like, "Oh, dude, like, okay." The one arm on the crane. You're like,
"Yeah, we had to." Oh, you're very welcome, Mike. We had to, in the next town over, Venice, they were building and it wasn't super tall. I think 10 or 12 stories, building a condo building on the island, and a guy got too close to the edge, and the railing wasn't very sturdy. So he like basically stepped off the edge and went straight down and landed on his feet, and it just accordioned him. I mean, he died in a puddle. But I'm like that. I'm like, oh, he may have felt some of that. You know, did he feel his ankles breaking, and then his shins and his knees and his legs, and before it got to the top? You know, I thought about that way fucking too long.
That's a slow motion death, Kev. That he probably didn't feel any of that. My dad worked at 3 Mile Island, and they had the big cooling towers. They have the guys who go up top the cooling towers and change the lights, and they've had people fall from there. They had scaffolding, and I'm like, God, they killed me. He goes, no. Because of the shape, it slopes up. They fall a certain, and then they hit, and then they kind of roll down. So they've had people fall from the top of those cooling towers and live because if it's not straight down, so you're just not falling straight. You fall X amount of feet, and then you hit cement and slide and roll. So they're fucked up. They got broke, they're all busted up and stuff. But that's something that, unless you're knocked out cold, that's a bitch of a freaking fall and tumble and rolling by the time you hit the bottom.
Well, this was a big deal in Chicago, and I actually just looked it up to make sure I had the date right. Back in 2012, a 23-year-old kid fell down the chimney. So he climbed past the closed, locked gate. He figured out a way to get onto the roof of the Hotel Continental and then climbed the chimney stack. And he fell in the chimney stack. 23-year-old man, Nicholas Wingme, fell into the chimney after climbing it to take photos from the roof. He initially survived the fall and communicated with rescuers at the time, but lost consciousness and died.
I'm sure, man. If you're falling down there, you probably got freak. You're not falling straight down. You probably got all.
But if you think about it, he was on his way to the furnace.
Yeah, he's never gonna make that. He's gonna clog that bitch up by just freaking.
Yeah.
Still,
that's worse, I think.
Yeah. It's not like Willy Wonka. It's not going to push you back out.
Yeah.
So but to survive those 4 fights, so my brother-in-law, his sister just got in a car accident this past weekend, and her and her husband were in Florida here, and they did they rented a Lamborghini, and it was like one of these test track things, and
that's fun.
Well, it wrecked it. Totaled the Lamborghini when it blew a tire, and she broke. I don't know if she's going to live or not, but broke every bone in her body.
Oh my God!
Every single bone was broke. Every organ was bruised.
And who was this to you?
This was my brother-in-law, his sister. So her and her husband. Now he's going to live because they hit that when the tire blew. Her side of the car hit the wall, but yeah, you think about those, like I said, sliding down the cooling tower, you're going to tumble, I look at the recovery of breaking every bone in your body.
Let me ask you this, Kevin. It's on the manuals, people put a lot of torque on those. There have been those gears that have slipped and come through the floor and killed people, right? And the transmission gears thrown through the floors.
No, that doesn't.
I've heard stories of the floor blowing out and the transmission dropping or gear coming through.
Like a severe race cars, that are but 99% of them run Kevlar blankets. They wrap the transmission in a Kevlar blanket to where it's almost impossible, if it does explode, to have anything that makes it through that Kevlar blanket that's strapped around the transmission. So it's rare that you have heard about that. I don't know anybody, or I've never really read a story.
I've never known anybody to do it, but I've always heard horror stories of run it too hard, you could kick out your gear and throw it through the floor or something.
Yeah, way back in the day, there were stories of mechanics, and this happened to me when I was a kid, to a guy that lived on the next street over from us. When they had, they still have some trucks that have cooling fans, like the metal radiator fans, we were always taught, you know, and being a mechanic, you never stand to the side of one, because if you have a fan blade that's weak, and that's what happened to this guy, one of the fan blades come off, and he was on that side, and it hit him straight in the right between the eyes, and got lodged in his skull and killed him instantly. So
I've always
yeah,
heard. I've always I heard. I knew one of the guy that married my wife and I, who was the officiant, worked a lot of years for Mac in Chicago, and he told me the worst stories and incidents he's ever seen was around changing the tires, the compression tires. He he's like, people would be lazy about it and not shut the cage, and all of a sudden it'd be boom, and it just shoot across the. He said, well, one guy actually was standing in front of it, and it took him in half.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he works on school buses, heavy equipment, and there's a cage you wheel the tire into, and you hook up the inflator gauge to it, and then when you close the gate and you lock it with the arm, and then when you lock it, it completes a circuit. Then you can turn on the air pressure to inflate it, so you can't leave a door open. You know, you can't be in there with it because you lock it in. It has, you know, laser sensor eyes. So it's pretty foolproof now, but that's, you know,
this was back in the 80s.
You know, and even now that's probably still the case. This was a city owned garage, you know, so something like that, it's probably impossible to happen. But yeah, you have those old split rims and, you know, tires that, like I said, just blow up and can fucking kill you. It's
you're ending the show on like a, Final Destination, you know,
Faces of Death.
Yeah. 1,000 Ways to Die.
Faces of Death. I remember renting that VHS when I was in high school.
Yeah, I've seen them all. Yeah.
Well, for those that don't know the compression tires, they literally the older school tires, they don't fill up like a regular tire. They squeeze am I explaining this right, Kev? They squeeze the rim together around it, and then they fill it up with air.
Yeah, it's called like that compression. It calls like a split rim, and
they're very dangerous.
Very fucking dangerous.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb.
Yeah, you don't play around with anything big like that. It's just parts are heavy. You know, they can crush you. It's just tires that, you know, when you're taking it off, if you're standing next to it, it can fall on you, and there's no getting out from a multi-1,000-pound, you know, tire.
Mike, what's your favorite Jackie Chan movie?
Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You know. So.
Oh, gosh, that's.
But yeah.
Real quick, to end it on a happier note. What's everyone's favorite shows they're watching? I'm really into Tulsa King. It's over the top, but it's awesome.
It's a fun show.
Looking forward to Landman in November.
Oh, the first season of that is
incredible.
So fucking good. Incredible. The one show that we've been watching that we're really into is Task.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a mini series. Mark Ruffalo's in it. It's and I'm kind of weird about this with movies and shows. So it's based in Philadelphia, right? And it's basically it's a heist. You know, he's FBI, et cetera, et cetera. But they did such a phenomenal job of everybody on that show has that Philadelphia accent. It's, you know, because you watch a movie, it'll be like, hey, this is in New York, and like no one's got a New York accent, or Boston, and everybody's kind of talking. Everybody, it is so dead spot on how they talk, the accents, and they even talk about working with their accent coaches. But it's a great series. Like every time we sit down and watch it, it's got us on the edge of the seat. And we've watched a few series like, you know, Tulsa King. We're now watching this Monster, the Ed Gain story, which is
we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that next.
It's pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's we're I think 5 or 6 episodes in, which is pretty good. You know, but I'm telling you, the Terminal List Dark Wolf is pretty decent too.
Okay.
But Task, bar none, it's up there. I think it's up there with Landman, because Landman I thought was just great writing, great acting, just great storytelling, everything.
Taylor Sheridan's amazing.
Yeah, we want to watch Black Rabbit next with Jason Bateman.
Okay. I started
good.
that. It's good. It's good.
It is. It's a little slow at first, but it picks up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now we're watching the House of Guinness.
That's good too.
Which is good. Jessica's not as into it as I am. The problem with House of Guinness is you almost have to have some knowledge of Irish history going into it. Like
Understand why they're fighting.
If you don't understand what's going on in those times, it's really hard to understand it. Like you really do need, like there are certain parts, like if you didn't know, like you wouldn't kind of have any idea of like what's going on, why
you don't appreciate the tension and the hostilities and just how fucking
like when the guy goes to New York and then the fireman's like, are you Catholic?
Yep.
And they change him down. Like if you didn't understand like the Catholic Protestant whole thing.
God,
and so I think we're like 4 or 5 episodes in, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
It's well done.
I love it. I just love the factory, the attention to detail of the factory and all the machinery and everything that's going on. I'm absolutely loving it. I do want to do I'm hoping someone has done a video on YouTube on the fact versus fiction of House of Guinness, because I don't know the story, like the whole story.
I looked up some of it. Well, I did look up, and you do get, and this thing out boring too, like the Ed Gein story. If you are Ed Gein, when you start looking up the fact and fiction, some of the facts and fiction are not accurate as well. Because
the Ed Gein story. So it's not like a documentary. It's a
it's like the Dahmer show that they did.
The Dahmer movie, a series.
Okay.
So they do take some creative liberties, and you can tell that they take some creative liberties and stuff. But there are some things like, they talk about his girlfriend, where if you read this article over here, but then you read this article over here. But the House of Guinness, from everything I read was, they did have the siblings. They all kind of had those, their personas are fairly accurate, but a lot of the storylines around those particular people are again, creative liberties. And the guy who's the head of the factory, he didn't really exist. That's just one of those characters that are amalgamation of a whole bunch of characters.
So it's like that series Chernobyl, like the woman that was in there, she never existed.
Right. Yeah, she was 120 some people as one.
Yeah,
she represented over 100 people.
Or they'll have someone who represents like the influence or the strong hand of the family. Whatever creative shit that they do. But yeah, I did read some of the facts and fiction, and I'm like you, Kevin. I don't know if I know for me, I don't look up a lot of this stuff until after I'm watching.
I'm gonna wait until it's over.
I didn't mean to spoiler alert anything, but I didn't want to dive too deep into all of the facts and fictions. Same with Ed Gein. I looked up a couple of things as we were going along, because a couple things I'm like, hold on for a second here. This just seems a little too, and then it lets you know that they're kind of taking some creative liberties. More importantly, they show how it may have influenced. It influenced a couple of different movies. His story. I mean, you got
a ton of movies. Psycho.
Psycho.
And I understand a lot of that stuff. Like you could never have known. Like Dahmer, like House of Guinness. So these personal, these personal stories, conversations. So I understand like some of that. They were taking liberties with. Because there's just no way anybody would have ever known that.
Yeah, because there's a couple scenes in Ed Gein where you're like, did that? And then you look up like, well, that didn't happen, but such and such went missing, so they just kind of assumed or attributed. So they create a little story there that no one really knows of what happened. But yeah,
I think
that story influenced a lot of movies.
I think Ed Gein is the most movie inspired story.
Yeah, I think so.
More has been taken for, like, Psycho was literally written. The writer of Psycho used Ed Gein's case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was that closely inspired. Obviously, the hotel wasn't real, but it was that closely inspired by Ed Gein. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Very inspired by Ed Gein.
Well, they showed the scene where, not to be a spoiler here, but they showed the scene where the guy who's the writer of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as a teenager, having dinner with his aunt and uncle, and his uncle lived in the next town over from Ed Gein, was telling him the story about it, and that's where he first first learned about it, and then kind of was like, hey, I want to make a movie that's just going to shock the freaking world. Silence of the Lamb has some Ed
Gein.
Well.
That was the first really big one.
Yeah.
Deranged came out in the 70s, was an Ed Gein one as well. But yeah, Ed Gein is probably the most movie inspired of the serial killers.
Yeah, don't they have another one coming out on another serial killer?
Yep. Yeah, they actually had Dahmer, they had the Mendez brothers, they have this guy, and then they have Lizzie Borden.
Oh, okay. Didn't they do one on Ted Bundy, or not Ted Bundy, the clown?
Gacy, yeah.
Gacy. I don't know if he's part of they're not part of the monster series.
Though. No, they did the Gacy tapes, and they touched on Gacy during Dahmer. They mentioned Gacy, and they showed article clips around Gacy, but they didn't. And they had a person playing Gacy. For just a clip of the show, but they didn't actually make.
Okay. I couldn't remember if they did that one or not. So.
No, I mean, you know what's so crazy to me is I was listening to so there's a really cool series called Mindhunters. And it's all about the original FBI crew that was called, they were called crazies. They came up with the idea of profiling, serial killer profiling. I know this. I know the story that I didn't watch that, but I know that story.
They actually stopped that series.
Yes, it saved for me.
Fantastic.
Well, they interviewed the real guys behind that profiling team. And they said, so what scared you most about what you did? He goes, or what about the people that you interviewed scared you most? He goes, nothing. It's about the people we'll never interview that will never be caught. He's like, the serial killers that we've caught don't keep me up at night. It's the serial killers that nobody will ever know of. Those are the ones that are really scary.
And some of those dudes that they had, the guys, the people that they had playing the serial killers, and then because Jen and I got really into it, because then we were like, okay, let's take a look at what what really happened in these interviews. And the one guy I had to look him up because I remember was
Through the Bird,
Ed Kemper, the real big guy.
Oh yeah.
That dude was just like, when you hear him talking about how he killed people, what he did, it's
scary.
It's like, you talking about, your day at work and how you changed, how you just described the whole tire thing. That's how he's describing how he cut his mom's head off and did this and did that. And he's like, I had to go talk to the cops, and I had the girl's head in my trunk. And I'm thinking, I really can't keep that in there. and he's really charismatic, and he's getting along well with these guys. And that's where this FBI group, they came, like you said, coined the phrase serial killers, because they were able to identify these folks and kind of start better psychologically profiling and understanding them. And that's where the term came up.
Serial killer,
serial killer, and that's where it came from, this FBI team. And it's a great series, and I think it was that year Jennifer and I were watching that. We were watching the San Clarita Diet, which is a great fucking movie.
I'm upset they canceled that one too.
And another series, we were watching all three, and all three were canceled around the same time. We're like, those some of the best shows right now, especially Mindhunters, was so freaking phenomenal. It ended with them, when they talked to Manson, their interview with Manson, and just so disappointed And I think it was Castle Rock. You know, all the series that did the backstories on Stephen King movies. That was also another great series that they canceled, which really pissed me off because the what story is it, Kev, with Stephen King? He's I'm your biggest fan.
Kathy Bates, but it's
Kathy Bates.
Misery.
Yeah.
They gave the backstory of that character in the series in Castle Rock, and the series ends with her at one of his events, you know, when he's talking, the character, and she's just like, "Oh, I just love you. I'm your biggest fan," and you're just like, "Damn!" Now you know her backstory. It's fucking great. Great series. Just canceled.
That's great. I always said if there's ever going to be a serial killer in my town, I just hope he lives next door. They never fuck with the neighbors. Just one day the news crew's out, the police is out, and you always hear that guy. He was such a nice guy. Help me out with my trash. You know, he's such a quiet guy. Yeah, you know, it never messes with the neighbors. So that's what
he always bought cigars from me. He's a real nice guy.
Yeah.
He smoked a couple here and there, but really kind of kept to himself. But everyone's buy cigars.
He owes me about $90. Did you guys find anything in there? You know, it's
Do I go after? Do I ask the state for that?
I don't want to sound like a selfish prick right now, but did he have any money on him when you arrested him?
Yeah, because that was my money.
My favorite cigar show with a cigar smoker, King of Tulsa. He is smoking the cigar in that entire show. I love it.
Oh, Tulsa, yes.
Or Tulsa King. King.
Yeah. No, the A team. The A team.
Oh, I thought he was talking about newer shows.
Okay.
A team's always a classic for sure.
Well,
the craziest thing in Mindhunter, you remember the scene where that guy's like petting his bird, and then just throws it over his head to the fan behind him?
Oh gosh!
Just like, oh my god, and that actually happened. Like it, I don't know. It people are nuts, you know. I don't think more people are nuts. I think we just see the nuts more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, listen, it's I know back when I was in pharmaceuticals, you talk to some of the psychiatrists who are like, you know, you're closer, you know, to the crazy insane people. You probably freaking brushed up against them at the grocery store and don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, damn.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, Gacy's a perfect example.
Yeah.
The whole town loved him. He was known for helping everybody in the town, like anybody that needed help. But like, you just don't. That's one of the reasons why John Lithgow was my favorite serial killer that was killed on the Dexter show.
Yeah,
because you would have never have known in his lifestyle that he was. But like that's more true than the bloodthirsty serial killer, as far as like the good ones. I say good ones, the ones that do it for an extended amount of time. Like those are the ones that blend in more. You know, Dahmer would blend it in as best as he could. What was the one that killed all the women?
That was what's his face? He's the charismatic guy. That
the good look. Everyone always said he was good looking. But like him, you know, like he was normal. Nobody thought anything. It's just it. People are sick most of the time. Like people can be really sick and demented, and most of the time, it kind of is the old adage: "Don't meet your heroes." It's kind of like sometimes don't get to know somebody really well. You might not like what you find out.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, if you haven't watched it and you like the whole thing, watch the movie Blackbird, the series Blackbird.
Oh yeah, I watched the first episode. It was great.
Oh my god, that's another one. It's fantastic. Yeah. Just really great acting, great storytelling. Just it's again another fucking, you know, people who justify freaking, you know, like killing was just, you know, no different than freaking taking out the garbage, which I got to do after the show.
You're talking about the Bateman one, right?
No,
what's the Bateman? Black Rabbit is the Bateman.
Black Rabbit, yeah, no,
Blackbird. I don't know that one.
Blackbird's it's Apple TV, and it's a limited series, and it's a story of a guy who's a serial killer, but they got to take an FBI guy and put him into prison and he's got to befriend him. They're trying to figure out where these bodies are. It's such a great series.
Slow Horses is another really good one on Apple TV. Gary Oldman, MI6, really. Gary Oldman's just always perfect.
Yeah.
Always perfect.
Yeah, I tried watching that at first. I got a little slow. I want to revisit it because I am a Gary Oldman fan.
It's exceptional. It really is good.
Yeah.
Really is a good show. And then the new John Candy documentary comes out this month. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone said it was amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone has said it was amazing.
Can't wait to see it.
But
all right. Well, on that note, God, Ryan, 2.5 hours. I mean, it feels like 15 minutes. So we always love having you on.
5 minutes ago, I looked up and it was 1:57, and here it is 2.5 hours later.
I know.
It goes by fast when you hang out with your friends.
That's it. Everybody. Ryan Miller, Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. There's a link down in the video description. If you want to check out some good interviews, Ryan does some fantastic ones. Who you got coming up next, Ryan?
I was gonna have Wanda from Sticks and let me see. I always forget the name of her company. Sticks and Stones Cigars, but she ended up backing out, so I probably won't have a show tomorrow night. But the following week, I've got Paulie DeSilvio, La Casa Grande.
All right, right on. If you want to do a show tomorrow night, I'm free. If you want to hop on and do anything, let me know.
I will, brother. So, I think I might want to take the night off.
It's nice having one off every now and then.
It is, man.
All right, so make sure you're following me, Kerr, like I said, Ryan, all of our social media links down in the video description. I want to thank everybody for coming on, spending a couple hours of your Wednesday night with us. And Kerr and I will see you back on Monday night with another Puff and Ponder podcast.
And remember, you guys check out and the Ashes to Africa. We are sending our son Joseph to Africa, and we are have a nice little thank you giveaways, if you will, for donations. So you can go to vsrcigarfam.com and check that out.
Yep, and if you're on Facebook watching this, just search Ashes to Africa. You'll find the event, all the info on how you can get in on the cool giveaways.
We got a lot of great giveaways, man.
Yeah,
we're up to almost $10,000 in giveaways.
Wow!
So right on. All right, we'll see everybody on Monday night.
See you.
Peace.